into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours, and we have a ton to get to. NBA playoffs continued to roll right along last night. A couple more games tonight. Major League Baseball, we've already got one game complete, another game going on right now, and we're only a day away from the NFL draft. So plenty to get to. We've also got to make golf picks later in the show. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well, and as we come on the air, the report is breaking that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy both receive loyalty bonuses from the PGA Tour. Tiger for $100 million and Rory McIlroy for $50 million.
Hey, guess it pays to be loyal.
Hope a lot of loyalty checks start getting written, don't you?
Hope so, yeah. How about that? That was definitely something to see today.
Those are jarring numbers.
Yeah.
They both made them that at plus 10 times that.
Easily. I mean, no question. I mean, especially Tiger Woods and certainly Roy McIlroy. What Tiger Woods
just in
did
TV
for PGA,
rights speaks.
Yes, easily. I mean, the amount of people that tune in for those two guys, any given tournament that they're contending in, I mean, please, it's incredible. So yeah,
I have zero problem with it all, but it also, again, furthers the defense. I'm not defending him, but his defense of Phil Mickelson, knowing there's gambling in Casablanca. There's money in that bank of the PGA Tour, and we want a piece of it.
Yes. And that was kind of his big thing is he had kind of been going back and forth with him a little bit over different things where he felt like he should have been getting more money that the PGA was getting, and he decides to leave for LIV, and I think now
he got his loyalty check. It was from LIV.
Yes, but now I guess PGA sitting and looking and seeing the reports of what has been offered to Rory and saying, hey, we need to do something quick to give these guys a little bit of something.
But $50 million for Rory. I don't know how it's being paid, but let's say it is one lump. I bet it's not, but let's say that it is. You pop up your account there, said $50 million deposit. That would feel good.
Sure would.
Except for rumors of him turning down $850.
Well, that's
throw that 8 in front of that 5-0. You got to. Now they weren't going to advance it all to him in one lump either.
No, but still,
I got time though. I can wait.
Sure, I mean as long as it's coming at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I think I got time.
Sure, and can try to make some.
That's kind of the Whitey Herzog.
Yeah.
Your life or mine.
It sure is. Yeah.
Yours or mine.
But yeah, no, that is very interesting. PGA trying to do something at least for those two guys, and obviously those two guys have been kind of the two big of would they ever go to LIV, and certainly Rory with still playing a lot, and Tiger kind of in and out. But we've heard the reports, especially back months ago, of what LIV was going to offer him when they first started. So that was interesting to see earlier today, and I guess good for them for getting that loyalty bonus from PGA.
We'll get John going to weigh in on that in about an hour as we talk golf and make picks with him as we do every Wednesday in the golf season now through the Tour Championship with John going from Timber Trust Golf, but also the Cardinals as we come on the air. Cardinals win is the late great George Lapidus would say, you take 2 out of 3 against the defending National League champions. Cardinals never losing another game.
Well, hey, I guess that's one way to look at it. Last night, though, would have been a different way of looking at things.
That would have been never going to win another game, as he would say after a losing streak.
I mean, how in the world you go from a 14-1 loss last night to the D-backs to having to turn around early game today and win 5-1 after trailing after 5 innings and then storming back. That's baseball, Brett.
That's baseball.
There's really no way to explain it other than that's baseball.
I was driving home from the Redbirds game last night from AutoZone Park and was listening to the Cardinal post game on KMOX, and they had the clip of the interview with Steven Matz, and I think he thought he pitched pretty good last night.
Oh, well,
I'm chuckling driving, going the scoreboard doesn't say you pitched well.
No, scoreboard doesn't say anything good. I mean, that was bad last night. I was at the Tigers game, and I looked down at my phone, and I get a notification. It's like, 7-0 or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Glad I'm missing that, I guess. So it was not a fun game for the Cardinals last night.
I got home in time to watch Mike Sadie's sports, and it looked like a great atmosphere for the Tigers and the Bullies.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I got there. I think first pitch was at 6. I pulled up probably about 6:20. Had to drive all around try to find a parking spot.
Good.
Which is good. Got in and. I was waiting on my brother was meeting me up there, and he had to finish something for class, so he was a little behind me. So I'm waiting for him, and I'm kind of standing just around, but I kind of got a place to stand where I have somewhat of a good view. I can at least see the pitcher and the batter and, kind of some other things. And he came there, and a lot of people know, but those who don't know, the soccer field is right behind third baseline for where the Tigers play baseball, and the stands go up right there. And there were people that were on the top row kind of leaned over so that they could see the field because there was just so many people there. So we were up there and stood up there most of the game. And then
So no seating in the seating area behind home plate?
No seating in the seating area, and all down the third base line and to where you could get in the outfield wall, there was nowhere to stand. It was a great environment, great atmosphere.
If they could ever catch that spark, it would take.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they need consistency. They need it. In keeping the coach. Well, you and Connor should have just bullied in there and said, "Look, we're influential grad, and he's in school here now.
Right.
Don't you know who we are?
Yeah,
y'all get up. Let us sit there.
Let us sit there. Yes, we should have. But I was close to it. But no, we found
Tiger family through and through.
That's right. But no, it was a good crowd. A lot of Tiger fans, a lot of State fans there, and now Tigers have to turn around and host top 10 East Carolina this weekend. So hopefully they can get a couple more really good crowds this weekend as well.
Can East Carolina could they win it all in Omaha?
Absolutely. I mean, it would take a lot, but I mean that team's good.
I would be fudging if I tried to act like I knew what their roster was like. That's why I asked you.
No, they're a good team. Like I said, top 10 team right now. Have been playing really well. Had a really good win last night against NC State. So no, they're a good team. It would definitely.
That's why I asked you, man. It's a breakdown. I didn't know all that.
Yeah, it'd be. I think it'd be tough for them to do. It would certainly be a shocker, but
tough for anybody.
But I do think they could do it, and I'm excited. I'm gonna go at least once. I'm gonna try to get out there maybe twice this weekend. And see against the Tigers. So it should be. And
hope the forecast this weekend holds up. Looks a little sketchy, a little bit Saturday and even into Sunday. When Sunday is the Showboats game where Reggie White and Pepper Rogers will be rightfully honored. Yeah,
so that will be a lot of fun. Showboats coming back, and I think you look at their record and 1-2, but I think they've played better than, or excuse me, 1-3, but I think they played better than what that record
got to
says.
get offensive line fixed.
Got to, but you lose that game that you were at in heartbreaking fashion.
Unbelievably.
Birmingham, they didn't show up. That was a bad game. I thought they were competitive against St. Louis for most of that game. Then kind of late they let it go. So I'm excited about Sunday for the Showboats. See what they can do for another home game. I think they can win it.
Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back.
How about that?
Your thoughts?
I mean, first off, let's give a round of applause to the Heisman.
Well deserved.
Because
should have never happened.
Should have never happened, and especially now with what the game has turned to. I know there's some people that are going to say, well, it wasn't like that back in the day. You can't rewrite history. I understand.
He performed on the field. They voted him the award. He should have never relinquished it.
I mean, ridiculous. So I was so happy to see that this morning.
What is Mark Emmert going to do if Reggie Bush says, come and get it?
I mean, that's a really good question.
Mark Emmert couldn't take back a Chaucer book from a English lit teacher, much less storm Reggie Bush's home and get his Heisman. Here's what happened. Reggie, they turned the screws tight on USC, and Reggie Bush had to take that hit for his beloved Trojans.
Had to. You're right. And so, but I was
and that's
really glad.
The typical extortion game that no good bunch in Indianapolis plays. Well, now, with that, I've said it for years now. I don't know how long I've said it. The Tigers should put up that 08 banner and take whatever happens.
I'm with you. They should, and maybe this will get some people thinking about that. But
and while we're in the apology business, Notre Dame should get theirs for complying, for showing them things that they would have never found with their 2-person Barney Fife investigation squad.
That's a great point.
Notre Dame basically ratted on itself, and they got hit.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, can Ole Miss get their apology for a guy sleeping on an assistant coach's couch?
Sure. I mean, I think all of those should happen. I doubt they do.
Great point,
but,
Brad. Them are some phenomenal points.
They should.
Despicable bunch that the whole membership of it should. We're not sending in a dime of dues next year. Not 1 cent.
No.
Make it the best way you can.
Yeah.
If you can't make it on that basketball tournament rights fees, we're not complying. We're not playing your little games anymore. We're not scared of your investigator. And that one investigator that lived in Oxford, last name Johannigmeyer. I mean, he's about the only one they had.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm just glad that Reggie gets his Heisman back. And I love that point you made where they're not going to go to him and say, all right, Reggie, give it back to us. They had to go to USC.
No. Who's there? Mark Emmert.
Yeah, I need your Heisman back. No, he had to go and strangle USC for it. But
and you know they did with heavy-handed tactics from that bunch of virtue signaling nothings.
No, you're right. And I mean, probably through we're going to do this to you and that to you and this, that. You don't want this to happen. And finally say, fine, take it. But that was cool to see this morning. And then, Money Man Zell, going on a Twitter storm this morning.
Yeah, he was.
He was that. He seemed like he was happier than Reggie Bush was.
He took the hit.
He did.
He's the one that led the onslaught.
That's right. And said I'm not going to have anything to do with Heisman if Reggie doesn't get his.
So this summer, Reggie Bush has got to be prominent in the Heisman House ads, right?
Got to be.
It will only be right.
Fun.
Only be right.
Not. Who's there? Reggie Bush. It's been a while. Come on in.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, that would be a great one, Brett.
Brett, we got to get you on the phone with the people that make those commercials because that'd be good.
I think they roll with all those late May, early June, and it's quite elaborate.
Oh, yeah.
And I like them, I love the Heisman Trophy. I'm very proud to be, little bitty piece as a lone voter and wanted it badly. My friend Dave Woloshin got it done for me, and I'm very appreciative and always will be for it. But that was not a good chapter in the Heisman Trust history in being complicit with the NCAA in doing that to Reggie Bush.
Yeah, no, you're
disgraceful.
Absolutely. And so I don't want to say made it right today, but at least
made it better.
And at least we don't have to kind of rehash that anymore because
and like we were going to have amnesia when you're going over that list and you see the 03 winner Jason White and the 04 winner Matt Leinart. No, what happened to 05? Did we not have a year that year?
Yeah.
No college football? Did it disappear? Were the minds correct and we were nuked that year but we came back in 06? I mean, it's just the whole banner down, wins stricken. I wish sports information departments, because for one thing, it's a minefield now. Like you see a team and a record, Team X against Team Y, without calling names. And it's 42-21 all time, and you go, well, that's not right. I know it's bigger than that, and then you read down in that very
was vacated.
To heck with all that garbage. Start printing it like it's supposed to be. What happened on the field is what the record is.
Exactly. I'm completely with you on that because I mean, there's no fan that is looking at their team going, oh. Well, let's not forget, 5 years ago, that win that this team had over that team, it was vacated. That never happened. No, they're saying, remember 5 years ago when we beat that team or, whatever. That just the vacation doesn't work for fans.
How about in the year that both teams had issues with the NCAA, and they just act like the game didn't get played?
What happened to that game that year?
And one time I'm going, like in pregame and going over like, this week or in Ole Miss hit, whatever it is that I'm doing, and I went by what the media guide said.
Sure.
Well, it denotes the NCAA trouble. immediately on Twitter, hey, Mr. Know-It-All, you had the record wrong. We're really such and such. Look, good Lord.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know it all. And second of all, let's all have it accurate.
Yes. No, I'm with you on that. So at least one thing could be a little better today with Reggie Bush, and I know a lot of people happy to see that, especially Reggie. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll talk the NBA playoffs. We had 3 games last night, 2 games tonight. Some really fun games last night in the playoffs, and some interesting ones as well tonight. So we'll talk the NBA playoffs at 3:30. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball. I mentioned it. 2 games going on right now. 1 game already final. That's the St. Louis Cardinals, a 5-1 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we'll talk some baseball. 4 o'clock, John Gowen will join us. We'll talk some golf with him. Also make our picks for this weekend's tournament event. Obviously, John Gowen from Timber Trust Golf. 4:30, this is going to be fun. A fun little exercise in honor of the
why'd I have to
NFL
go and
draft.
do this assignment?
Oh, man.
Who gave us this homework to do?
Well, it's tough. I think I might have been the lucky one out of this because I could just go home and say, hey, Connor, start throwing some names at me, and we'll tag team this. And,
good deal.
We can get
That's
a good
smart.
list together. But we're going to do the top 10 draft picks of the 21st century.
Regardless of round.
Yep.
It could be 5th round,
Sure.
3rd round, not undrafted free agents. They had to be drafted.
Right. And that's what a lot of mine are what I would think value picks, guys that were taken late in the draft but ended up having having good careers.
I told Johnny before we started, I have 5 Super Bowl winners and 5 that aren't.
Yeah.
How valuable are you if you didn't win a Super Bowl?
That's a good question.
I don't know that I like that I have as many not winning, but 1 game too.
Sure.
Versus a cricket. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're all good. That's going to be fun to look at, and you've said it, I've said it. I don't think we're going to have a ton of similar guys on our list. I think it's going to be a lot of difference, which is going to make it even more fun. So we'll do that at 4:30, and send in yours if you've got one that you think should be on there. If we get to it and we didn't have one on there that you think we missed, send it in. We'd love to hear some guys you think are great picks from the 21st century in the NFL. 4:45, we get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Rob Fisher. You see him on all of the Grizzlies TV broadcasts from Grind City Media. He's going to join us, talk NBA playoffs. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. At 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Get over there for the factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now and get in line for your pool installation. Also, get pre-season pricing. You can save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas at Family Leisure, and they've got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill. We're Sportstime. We're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a part of our show. You can text or call at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and phone line. And all our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673. But better yet, stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day comes from the NBA. I mentioned we had 3 games last night. We're going to talk about all 3 of those a lot in our next segment. But my top story of the day has to do with the second game last night. The Pacers beat the Bucks 125-108, tying the series 1-1 as it heads back to Indiana. But the big news today, Shams Charania reporting that Giannis Antetokounmpo is still not able to run or scrimmage. So it's looking a lot more likely that the Milwaukee Bucks will need to win round one without him, and that just makes this series all the more interesting. First game, Bucks won it easily behind Damian Lillard's 35 points in the first half. He was just unbelievable in that first game and led the Bucks to a win on their home court. Last night, it was a little different. The Pacers shot 55% from the field, nearly 45% from three, while on the other side, Milwaukee struggled a little bit shooting the ball, didn't get a ton from their bench. Damian Lillard still scored 35 points. He looked good, but Indiana was just too much late in that game. Siakam goes off for 37. You got two other guys in the starting lineups putting up 20 or more points. So this one's going to be a really interesting series, and now if Giannis can't return for the first round, it's going to make it a little more difficult for the Bucks to win this series in advance.
My top story, we wanted a competitive series, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did.
And now at least we have two at 1-1. Can Indiana really win this series? Well, maybe with that news that Shams Charania reported. But I still kind of doubt it over 7 games in 2 weeks. I picked Indiana, but I don't know about that pick. Can they make it a series? Maybe in Dallas. We'll see if Dallas can make a series. They sure can. All they wanted was 1-1. It's all anybody that the visitor wants out of those first two. However you get them, whenever you get them, 1-1's all you want heading back home. For New Orleans, that's the same for them tonight in Oklahoma City. They got to scratch out one.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, the Cardinals won earlier today, 5-1 over the D-backs, but it comes off of a loss last night, 14-1 against the Diamondbacks, and some fans might have noticed somebody missing out of the starting lineup from today's game, and that is the young outfielder Jordan Walker, who this morning it was announced by the team that he's been optioned down to AAA Memphis, so he'll be here. Later reporting said that he'll get down here and sit for a couple of games before actually getting into the action. So I'm sure next week Jordan Walker will be in the lineup, probably even this weekend be in the lineup for the Redbirds, but just a really rough start to the season for him. He's really struggled at the plate. He's not an outfielder. He struggles a lot in the outfield. He's gotten a little better from last year, but really that bat has been really poor this season, so they're sending him back to AAA, kind of like we saw last year where they sent him down and said, you got to fix your swing, and we'll see if he can get those corrections and get back up to St. Louis, but it's been a really rough start for him in St. Louis.
Brian, it makes you wonder if organizationally we have the right people in the Cardinal organization to fix a swing, to correct missteps, to get things right. I don't know. I'm starting to question everything, and I sure question a lot with the Redbirds and at AutoZone Park, and I'll talk about that later with the crowd last night of, I would say, maybe 500 people.
Oh, man.
But I'll get to that later. A lot of empty seats last night in St. Louis. Our buddy Tom Ackerman at KMOX, he just tweeted out, series win, piece of cake, next, #STL Cardinals. That may have been the hardest series, 2 out of 3 home series win in Cardinal history.
Yeah, you're right about that.
My not top story, we talked about it a lot. Reggie Bush should have never allowed his Heisman to be taken from him. He should have said, come and get it if you're bad enough. Long ago, it should have been returned to him. And finally, a wrong has been righted. But let's stop with some of the justice has prevailed stuff. Yeah. I'm glad Reggie Bush has got his Heisman back. Reggie Bush has lived a very fashionable life. So fashionable, he dated one of the Kardashians. How about that? I mean, things hadn't been too tough on Reggie Bush. He made a lot. He earned every cent he ever made, on and off the field, playing professional football. He did well at USC, too. Sure. We know that now. He got voted the trophy. But let's quit making it sound like he's Nelson Mandela getting freed from Robben Island.
Yes, no, that's a very good point, because some people are saying, oh, man, what a day it is for Reggie.
I've been seeing that. I've been seeing that.
Reggie's doing just fine.
By 8 o'clock this morning, I'd had it to my eyebrows with, justice prevails. Sure. He's liberal. I mean, it's not Nelson Mandela in Cape Town.
Not at all. But definitely good news nonetheless for Reggie to get his Heisman. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk about the games we saw last night in the NBA playoffs. We'll also talk about the 2 games tonight. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is, when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Progressive presents Flo and JB announcing a monster truck rally.
And here comes the Obliterator.
Whoa! And he's up on two wheels. That can't be safe.
Oh, I don't recommend flipping your car backwards.
Did he even check his blind spot?
And the car's on fire.
I definitely don't recommend that.
This is one of my recurring nightmares.
Progressive is all about keeping it safe, so bundle your home and auto for 24/7 protection. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Coverage not provided for monster trucks. Not available in all states.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only. Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It is moving better than it was on 240 southbound at South Parkway, where we had that earlier crash there coming out of the Midtown area. Again, that is looking better. However, it is still slow over here on 240 East, already here up by Poplar as traffic picks up going outbound there on I-40 as you head eastbound out past Germantown Parkway into Fayette County. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your Mother's Day headquarters. Shop local this Mother's Day at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we had 3 NBA playoff games last night. We've got 2 tonight. But last night started with the Suns versus the Timberwolves. And Suns got up early. And I thought this was going to be one that, we were talking yesterday about what could be the upset games. And we did get 2 upsets last night in terms of seeding and what Vegas said. But I thought the Suns early were going to be one of those teams. They were playing well. But then here comes this Timberwolves team. And I've got to say, they are just so impressive. You look in the second half for the Suns, and they're held 20 points in the third quarter, 22 points in the fourth quarter. This Timberwolves defense is just on a different level, and they're really flexing against what we thought was going to be a really, really dominant big three for Phoenix with Durant, Beal, and Booker.
And a lot of times this year they haven't had them,
yeah.
but we thought it was going to be imposing, and it hadn't been, and it hadn't been for this series, and now they're down 2, and the math's simple for anybody that gets up 2-0, 2-0 at home,
sure.
You got to win 2 more, and at least 2 of them will be at home.
Yeah.
The math is really on their side. Phoenix, I don't think it's blow it up time, but they made a pretty big move.
Sure.
They made a big coaching move a few years ago. That I bet if they redid that, they wouldn't fire Monty now. I don't know. I don't know if they think they bettered themselves or not with that. But they're kind of out there. Again, I don't think the Grizzlies are that behind Phoenix when healthy.
Right.
Minnesota may be more behind than I thought.
Yeah, this has been a team that has just been so impressive to watch because, you look in kind of the jump that Anthony Edwards has made to really being in kind of that superstar tier, getting close to that tier, being so young, being an all-star and getting close to that has been really impressive. Karl-Anthony Towns returning and playing well, Rudy Gobert giving you a little bit, but this T-Wolves team is a team that I think is going to be scary, not just this year, but in years to come.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're going to be a lot of trouble. We suspected that 2 years ago. Who did I hear? Somebody I think something of today said they thought they blew that series 2 years ago to Memphis. I greatly disagree with that.
Yeah,
I thought the Grizzlies were the better team, and it was a hard fought series, but got there with the 4-2 win. I don't think Minnesota gave away anything. They haven't won a lot through the years. We went over their thin playoff resume yesterday. Indiana, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Indiana, they have to love the idea of getting their split and now getting back home and hoping their crowd can push them to going up 3-1. That's what they got to do. That's their math.
No, absolutely. And I think, you mentioned it earlier, any team that is looking up and has a split going back home's got to feel extremely happy about that. And so, what Indiana has done and going back home, I think they'll get some good crowds. I think there's a lot of people up there that ready to get behind playoff success. And so, what they've done, and now with the idea that maybe Giannis won't be back this series, Indiana's in a pretty good spot right now, I think.
You know who's going to be bringing the noise at Game 3 in Indianapolis?
Who's that?
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I saw
she will be prominent.
That's right. I saw some clips of her up there practicing with her new team, getting ready for their season that starts next month. So
that's
you're
a
right
really
about
good
that.
way to endear yourself to the fans.
Absolutely. Be front and center. And,
I think our play endears her enough.
Absolutely. But that's a really good point.
I think we knew when we did picks, and I took the Clippers. Both of y'all didn't. Both of y'all take?
I took the Mavs. I think.
I think both of y'all took the Mavericks.
I took the Mavericks.
Yes, you did. You did. That's right, Johnny. I was getting to my paper on it. Y'all did. I think when we picked, we all suspected or thought 7-game, pretty tough series.
Yeah, no, I mean, this has been the series that you ask anybody going into it, you read anything.
That's the one.
This has been the one that it's going to be, an all-out war between these two teams, and it's what we've gotten. I mean, last night, that game where, Dallas is in control, and then here comes the Clippers, they get a lead, and it looks like, unless something changes, they might start running away with it, and then here comes Luka, and Luka knocked down some big shots late in that game last night to secure that win. But I think both these teams probably feel really good with where they're at. And yeah, I think this one's going to be one that goes 7.
46 minutes played for Luka Doncic, 42 minutes for Kyrie Irving. They have to have every second out of them. 55 combined points.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've got to have them. I mean, we talked about it after game 1 where I think both of them scored 30 points or something like that and looked good but didn't really get much from anybody else. You're going to need every minute from them. And I saw after the game last night they were doing kind of the right post-game on-the-court interview with Luka on TNT, and the guy wraps up his interview with Luka and he goes, "Luka, you get an extra day break before the next game." And he goes, "Oh, man.
Need it.
I need it." And, so they're definitely going to need it, and they're going to need to get some more from other people. I thought P.J. Washington was massive last night. Finished with 18 points, went 3 for 4 from 3, and gave them a ton defensively.
In that big third piece.
Yeah, and so I think they need him to continue to play well. I thought Derek Lively gave him some good minutes, especially with his free throw shooting. This has been a guy that has kind of struggled, but he goes 50% from the line, gave him 9 rebounds. So they're going to need those kind of depth pieces to step up, like you said, because you're going to throw Kyrie and Luka out there, but if this goes 7 games, once we get to game 5, game 6, game 7, you can't rely on Luka and Kyrie to come out and drop 30 every night. You're going to need some other pieces to step up.
And on that other side, James Harden played 42 minutes. Yeah. The big 4 surefire Hall of Famers, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Well, 3 out of the 4 played like Hall of Famers, sure. 22, 15, 22, and only 7 for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and Russ struggled shooting the ball, 2 for 9 from the field. But did have some plays that I thought were big. He had a block late when they kind of went on their run. That was kind of nice. Finished with 9 rebounds, so he's still giving them a little bit of something. But I do think you want a little more scoring from him, or maybe a little more distribution. Only 3 assists last night for him, so you definitely want a little bit more from him.
Only 2 games a night, and for NBA, even a regular season game, but for sure a playoff game, these lines are huge. 14.5, Boston favored over the Heat on the parquet in Boston, and the Thunder in Oklahoma City favored 7.5 over the Pelicans.
Yeah, so, it's going to be some big spreads. We were talking about that Boston game earlier. That total has gone up a couple of points this morning. When I was talking to Johnny Radio, it was 203.5. Now it's up to 205.5. But that, for the Boston Celtics, I think when it was at 203, John said earlier that it was the lowest a total has been set for a Clippers game this year by 6 points.
Celtics game or Clippers game?
Excuse me, Celtics game.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And so it was the lowest, 203.5 was the lowest by 6 points. So now
is that
205.5, that'd be the lowest
Good catch
by 4
by Johnny
points.
radio. He's trying to middle it. That's what he's trying to do.
He sure is. And he goes, with the total being that low, by principle, we have to take the Heat tonight, right? And I was like, whoa, John, I don't know. This is the Boston Celtics we're talking about.
Wait a minute. Let's throw principles out here.
Well, yes. This is the playoffs, and this is the Celtics. The Celtics have looked unbeatable. Have looked really, really good, especially at home. And, I think deservingly so of the 14.5-point spread. But that Thunder game with what we saw last time out, where they struggled down the stretch, could not put the Pelicans away, and it ended up only being a one-score game. For that line to be 7.5, I was really surprised about that. I think last game was about 7.5 or 8.5, maybe even 9.5, but somewhere in that range for game one. I was a little surprised that it's still that high for game two.
And the two number one seeds both going tonight, and if it held to grid, that would be your NBA Finals.
Sure.
Boston would be the home. They'd have the 1, 2, 5, and 7 in Boston.
Yeah. So I feel pretty good about them. I don't feel as good about the Thunder just because of their youth and what they've kind of shown. But and you still have Denver and Minnesota has been looking really good in your conference. So it's gonna be tough for them. But Boston, I think I could put money on them to be there.
Was there a time this year where Oklahoma City showed their youth, that they looked young, that had that 5 out of 6 or a tough schneid?
It's a good question. Nothing that jumps to my mind. I would not be surprised if there was one in there, but nothing that jumps out to me where we were all kind of saying, "Ooh."
It's been pretty flatliner.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Wow, I mean, really impressive year for them.
It is.
I think the longest losing streak they had this season. Double checking, 3-game losing stretch. That was from April the 2nd to April the 5th. They lost to the 76ers, to the Celtics, and to the Indiana Pacers. So three Eastern Conference
quality teams.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they were, because they had to battle to the end to secure the 1 seed. But you could understand at that time of the year, sometimes you can get not in shutdown mode, but kind of power down a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, they were still fighting with that. We had up until last couple of days of the season, we had a 3-way tie for first place, even down to the last day. They were playing for that 1 seed. So, they were playing down the stretch. And so, I think early April, you could see maybe a little lapse there. And then, hey, everybody, we got to lock back in if we want to get that number 1 seed. And they did that, rattling off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game winning streak to end the season after that 3-game losing streak. So, that's a really good point, because this team is so young, and there's so much talk about, their average age is 23 and some change, and, they don't have any playoff experience and all this and that. But, they have not had those lapses that you would see from most young teams in this league.
And I'm going to ask Rob Fisher this question. I wonder if this collection of Thunder youth is better than that Durant, Westbrook, Harden collection back then.
It's a really good question, because I think you could probably make an argument both ways.
Because it got to the NBA Finals but didn't win it.
Yeah, it sure did. And what this group's doing with Jalen Williams and SGA and what Chet's bringing them.
And that had Serge Ibaka, had our man Nick Collison.
Yeah.
Not that he was that primary, but he was a good piece.
He was a good piece. But, one thing I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on tonight in this game between the Pelicans and the Thunder is rebounding. I mean, OKC got murdered on the glass, and that was a big part of how New Orleans stayed into it. I mean, there was one possession where I think the Pelicans got like 3 offensive rebounds in the same possession. Now, they couldn't capitalize at all, and I think OKC finally came down with a rebound, but they just kept getting second-chance shots, and with Valanciunas down there, I mean, with his size, he's getting a ton of boards, so that's going to be a big thing to watch tonight if the Thunder can clean that up a little bit.
And back in that day, Kendrick Perkins helped him.
Kendrick Perkins, absolutely.
And really cost the Grizzlies. I can hear Rob now crushing me when I ask this, with asking the question, back to the question. All right, tell me, who's Kevin Durant?
Well, and that's that's a great question. Because Kevin Durant is on a different level.
Because you can kind of find, all right, tell me who Russell Westbrook. You can kind of do that.
Sure.
You can kind of find James Harden.
Sure.
Tell me who KD is.
Yeah, I can't do that. can't do that because there's no KD on this team, unfortunately. No. Nobody that even resembles him a little bit. But those are both going to be fun games tonight. Pelicans Thunder, the late night game tonight on TNT at 8:30. The first one will be Heat and Celtics also on TNT. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. I mentioned it earlier. One game complete in Major League Baseball, 2 going on right now. So we'll take a look at those. We'll take a look at what happened last night and the rest of the slate for the day. We're talking baseball next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
At Sunrise, both on Jefferson and Poplar, we understand that a lot of the early morning crowd is not early morning at all. We're talking about the heroes that work the overnight shift. These are people that keep the world turning while we sleep. That's why both Sunrise locations have a full bar. If you have a long day ahead of you, you probably want coffee. But if you've been working all night, you might just want a drink. Not only do both Sunrise locations have every cocktail you could want, they also both feature a Bloody Mary bar with a huge selection of fixins. If you just got off work at Sunrise, come have a drink at Sunrise.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Progressive presents Flo and JB announcing a monster truck rally.
And here comes the Obliterator.
Whoa! And he's up on 2 wheels. That can't be safe.
I don't recommend flipping your car backwards.
Did he even check his blind spot?
And the car's on fire.
I definitely don't recommend that.
This is one of my recurring nightmares.
Progressive is all about keeping it safe, so bundle your home and auto for 24/7 protection. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Coverage not provided for monster trucks. Not available in all states.
We're here with David Cooper, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds. David, we're familiar with iconic brands. Are there designers for engagement rings?
Absolutely. Like every other industry, there are 10 renowned bridal designers who have been leading the industry for years. They are trusted, respected, and exclusive. Every jewelry store wishes to have them.
So what makes these designer engagement rings so desirable?
These designers drive a surge of customers to the store, making it the place to be. They attract shoppers who value quality, sophistication, and the ability to express their individuality through their engagement ring.
Can customers find these engagement rings in other stores?
Absolutely not. Other stores would love to have them, but they didn't make the cut. They have to settle for what they can get, not what they wish to have.
So Genesis has cornered the market.
Certainly. We offer a world-class exclusive selection from $1,900 complete rings to $250,000 celebrity rings. Best bridal designers in the world create these one-of-a-kind rings specifically to showcase your individuality like no other ring.
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar at Perkins Extended.
It's time for the 2024 NFL Draft. NFLshop.com has everything you need to welcome the newest class of rookies with the largest assortment of officially licensed draft gear for all 32 teams. Shop official New Era draft caps, draft t-shirts, jerseys, and more. Get ready to rep the newest members of your team for the 2024 season with an unbeatable selection of gear to showcase your team pride and style. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes
tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We've got 2 Major League Baseball games going on right now. The Mets, they're up 3-0 over the Giants in the middle of the 4th inning. Just played at home, a run
in
at the
a
top of the
great
4th.
uniform
matchup.
matchup.
Man, that's the uniform off.
That orange SF from back in the day in New York to the Mets paying tribute to it with their orange NY. My one of my favorite road uniforms. Mets.
Absolutely. No, it's a really good one.
And a good one with Angels and Orioles.
And Orioles, yeah. And O's up 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. They just played a run in the top of the 3rd to take a lead in that game. So 2 really good games. I think a couple fun teams going, especially the Orioles with those young pieces. They haven't. I saw yesterday, I think, they called up another one of their young guys from AAA.
It's a conveyor belt.
It sure is. And this guy was hitting like 374 in AAA. I mean, it's just doesn't get better than that. I mean,
they've got it lined up wingtip to wingtip and all through the minors, and I hope organizationally they don't blow it. They won't be able to keep them all.
No.
But the Yankees and Red Sox and Dodgers can't sign every one of them either.
It's a great point. That's a great point. And like you said, I wish the Cardinals, or insert your favorite team here, would go out and either hire all the people from Tampa Bay scouting and development department, or now the Orioles scouting and development department, because both of those organizations really know what they're doing when it comes to developing young players.
I agree, but here's what Tampa Bay did not have to go through. They did not have to go through those wilderness years.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That the Oriole ownership really put that franchise through and to hit rock bottom a couple of times before they finally started making the right moves. And it was helped by all those bad finishes and where they drafted.
Sure.
This version of the Astros that we're probably at the end of.
Feels like you're probably getting close to it, yeah.
It was created by a lot of really lean years.
Sure. But still, I mean, to capitalize on that, because there are some organizations out there, they have those bad lean years and they never capitalize on it.
Sure don't.
Through the draft. So you definitely got to give them credit for that. And they've been playing really well, 15-8 on the season for the Orioles. But some really fun games, I think. Later tonight, you've got Tigers and Rays, which I think is going to be interesting. Tigers 14-10 on the season, a good start.
2 great
for them.
managers.
Yeah, absolutely right. And our old buddy Jack Flaherty going on the mound tonight for the Tigers in search of his first win of the season. So.
And good luck to them. And if the playoffs started today, they don't start until about October 3rd.
Right.
But if they started today, the Tigers would be in the playoffs.
How about that? Wouldn't that
the
be
Seattle Mariners would be in first in the West.
A turnaround for the Seattle Mariners.
Your Mariners, your American League team.
That's my American League team. Big win for them last night, 4-0 over the Rangers. And you look up now, 7-3 in their last 10 and sitting proudly first place of that division.
I was at Jim's place yesterday at lunch, and the great Terrace family, they are devoted Browns and Cleveland baseball fans.
Wow.
It goes way back. That's their teams. Everybody knows them, knows it, and they go way back.
Sure.
And I was texting with James Terrace last night. Best record in baseball at 16-6.
Crazy.
And he texted me back, make it 17-6.
They
won again last night. 739 winning percentage. That's a great start for first year manager.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. And they've been getting some big time play from some guys that I don't know if they really expected it from this early. And honestly, that's a fun series. Guardians and Red Sox to start the week, because the Red Sox, I thought they were going to be a team that we were going to look up and maybe not be as bad as what the Marlins are doing right now.
Or the White Sox.
Or the White Sox. I didn't want to go that bad, but yes.
But I thought bad.
I thought we were going to be bad. I did not think be sitting here 13-11.
They got a proud winning manager too, and their culture. They've just kind of gone a little austere since COVID. COVID hit them hard. Cash flow hit them really hard, and to keep up that level of spending and to match, what they've already done since they finally vanquished the curse of the Bambino in 04. But Connor's poor White Sox.
Oh man,
Johnny, it's tough out here being a Cardinal fan. It's tough, Johnny. We only got 11 little wins.
That's right.
White Sox have 3.
It's not good this far
it's
in the
tough
season.
for Connor.
Yeah, it's not good this far in the season when you can count the wins on one hand. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not good.
No,
and have fingers left over.
That's right. Yes. No, it's been a terrible start, and I don't think it's going to get any better going up against the Twins right now, who are in need for wins as they're a couple of games under 500 as well.
And like Oliver Marmol, I don't. There's no need to fire Pedro Grifol. He doesn't have anything.
Talk to some White Sox fans. I think they tell you different.
Yeah, but
Same thing with Cardinals. I think a lot of people.
But they were that mad at Tony La Russa too.
Sure. Well, yeah.
They were that mad at Renicky.
That's a good point. I think you just wipe everything, whether it's the Cardinals or the White Sox or a couple of these teams. Wipe everything.
You just want to bulldoze everybody?
Maybe not the players. Players fine. Just manager on up. Everybody gone. Start over. And
that's a lot of open jobs.
Well,
kind of what A&M did yesterday in the football department.
Yeah, that was rough. But hey, if it.
Man, nobody saw that coming.
No,
18 people fired yesterday in the A&M athletics department, not just football.
Right, but no, you told me that yesterday, and I was shocked. 18 people. That is not just a couple. I mean, that's a lot of people.
If a place can afford to kind of have some fat around, it's A&M.
No, absolutely. No, that's a good point. So, but no, it's going to be a good night of baseball tonight. Who knows? I might be beaming to one of these games in a couple of hours during Taco Bell crunch time. But let's go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break. When we come back, we're talking golf and making some picks with John Goen.
Hot wings. What's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
It's time to get charging in your new Charger from Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike during our Dodge Power Shot days, and it's your last call to charge forward and pay less. New 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, we Gossett at $27,599, $27,599 or $419 a month. That's $10,000 off MSRP. Plus 2023 Dodge Charger Scat Pack now $7,000 off MSRP or $659 a month. And get to Gossett during Ram Truck Month. 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99. Charger PH 636 167 MSRP 37,715. Scat PH 612 877 MSRP 55,110. Ram RG 19 347.2 MSRP 65,925. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There's still a couple of ranks in their clearing stages out here. It's building even more over here with some volume on 240 East up by Poplar. Traffic's on the increase even more on I-40 as you work your way past Warford, Hollywood, headed all the way over to White Station as it cranks up going outbound now on Sam Cooper, especially headed back towards the interstate. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. And joining us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, John Goen from Timber Trust Golf joins us. Talk some golf and make some picks. John, thanks so much for joining us. How are things going this week down at Timber Trust?
You know, fellas, not bad. You're getting a day in the life of a golf course owner right now. Let's see. We're out here radio watering greens. We're throwing the ball with the dog. You know, we're just trying to play a little bit of catch up here. So, lots going on. Lots going on right now.
A great day to do it, John, to be in the golf course business. These are days you dream of, isn't it?
Yeah, great day. Beautiful day. You know, just trying to, we've been, you know, it's that time of the year, right? Everybody's kind of, you know, things are starting to green up. You get some nice weather to be able to start growing grass. Then you get, you know, 39 degrees the other day, and everything kind of shuts back down again a little bit. And then, you know, so you're in a start, stop. And then everybody just got done watching at Augusta, and they're like, what's wrong with the golf course? And you're like, well, you want the long list or a partial? I mean, like, which way do we want to go with it here, guys? So,
John,
we don't spend $20 million, you know, throwing seed all over the place and shut down for 4 months in September. So, no, I mean, look, everything's good. Golf course is coming along. You know, obviously this little stretch of weather, we've had a kind of a good little piece, and then, you know, we're getting a little warm up. We'll be happy to get a little bit of rain tomorrow night. I mean, you know, we've had some lower humidity, so things dry out a little bit quicker nowadays. But, you know, overall, no real complaints.
you mentioned, Augusta and how it gets everybody out and everybody has those expectations. And I've said it for years. We watched really 3 of the 4 majors, maybe not the Open Championship, and we see these green speeds that get it like you're rolling the ball down the runway at Memphis International, and then every player wants to get out at their local course of whatever budget, of whatever means, and they want that same green speed mania, and it's just impossible for you to keep it like that other than what they're doing for about 5 or 6 days a year.
And then they wonder why it takes them 6 hours to play golf, because at the end of the day, when the greens are rolling that fast and you're not as good as Scotty Scheffler is putting, you get a few 3 putts, 4 putts, or I can't, hold a chip shot on the green or whatever. So, there's definitely a fine line, and we do a pretty good job of figuring out what that fine line looks like. But we want to give them a little bit of wow factor, but we also want to keep it, fairly realistic to where, they're not putting it off the green and then putting it back on the green and then putting it back off the green and things along those lines. So, it's always a tweak. I mean, we top dress greens today and then drug that in and then throw a roller on it. And that roll, people have a phobia towards sand. They think it's a bad word. And at the end of the day, for us, it really helps the overall, firmness of the green, and it helps, be able to create a little bit more speed and helps alleviate some of the grain potential and things along those lines as far as, just being able to work it into the profile. So it's good for us to be able to do it. And at the end of the day, once we drag it in and roll it, we probably pick up, a little bit of speed just because you're kind of alleviating some of those factors. So, although people don't necessarily like us, throwing it first thing in the morning, by the middle part of the day, and they see green speeds pick up, they're kind of like, okay, we get it now. We understand what you're doing, so just kind of keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Scotty Scheffler. He wins another tournament this weekend. Quite the row.
The machine.
I mean, it's been unbelievable what he's been doing these last couple of weeks.
Best stretch since Tiger, boys. Best stretch since Tiger. Better than Tiger? Did Tiger win 4 out of 5?
John, we're under FCC guidelines. You can't curse like that on the air. Nothing's better than Tiger, and never will be.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
I mean, are we going to get into the Nicklaus Tiger conversation? I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether anything's, but
we can. I know.
There's
I can argue every side of it
out there. But look, I mean, it's an incredible run. Obviously, Nelly Corda's run on the LPGA, winning 5 in a row is very impressive as well. But again, I think we talked about it, last week. I mean, heck, if Scotty doesn't have a bit of a brain cramp there toward the end in Houston, he probably wins 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I do remember some Tiger stretches as far as winning goes. I just don't remember Tiger winning 4 of 5. And I'm sure somebody's going to text the line or whatever and tell me I'm completely off base and that Tiger did X, Y, Z, and that's fine. I'm not paid to be the I remember what Tiger did back when person. So, it's an incredible stretch by Scotty, and just really, really impressive. And at the end of the day, whoever's in 4th place and does not pick Scotty Scheffler, might as well be hung, just because at the end of the day, that's the easiest pick the rest of the year, boys. If you're in 4th place and you do not pick Scotty Scheffler as your winner that week, as your lock pick that week, forget it.
But he's going to. I'm the week I get to draft first. It's going to be a week he's not playing. And man, come on, let's go ahead and have this baby. I mean, we've been on baby watch for a few weeks with Scotty Scheffler, and I texted Johnny Saturday night. It would have been the cruelest thing to ever happen in any golf segment, in any golf picks ever. No, I'm sorry. It was Sunday night when he just had to go out and play a few more holes on Monday morning.
Right.
Because if he had gotten that call Sunday night that she was, 7 centimeters or whatever, and the baby's on the way.
WD.
WD, and what that would, it'd have been too cruel to Johnny.
Yeah, it would have been.
I told him when he answered. He called me. I'm like, man, you had the easiest pick of the week last week. I said, congratulations. I said, you just absolutely blew our doors off. I said, great pick, really hard pick last week. But
Bryant will give him no credit.
I don't give
no credit, John.
No, he already told me that. He's like, man, Brian just gave me a bunch of grief over that pick.
I did.
Just wouldn't acknowledge. I mean, I said, you know what? They gave me just as much grief the week before. They gave me no credit for Scotty. Gave me all the credit in the world for Will Zalatoris.
Sure.
So
You deserve that one.
Look, if it's served on a plate for you, you just got to take it, right? I mean, if it's just
I agree, John.
there,
I agree.
No, guys.
if it's teed up for you, hit it, boys. Hit it.
It's like when the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks had the coin toss for number one pick, and the Bucks won the coin toss, and they take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Phoenix Suns took Neil Walk. Everybody in sports was going to take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar first. Y'all getting no credit.
Nope.
What about
You see this,
Portland and the Chicago Bulls? Come on.
Great point, John.
I mean, come on. Let's go. Here we go. I mean, he could have fumbled all over himself and said, you know what? At the end of the day, I want Matt Fitzpatrick.
Great point, John.
And then Bryant would have gone, thank you very much. Or Stats would have gone, thank you very much. I will take Scotty Shepard. And then you'd have gone, great pick, guys, great pick. It's the easiest pick of the year, fellas. Take it every week he's playing.
John's been out in that sun today, hasn't he, Brian? He is feisty. John going with us from Timber Trust Golf on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. John, when are we going to fall in love with Scotty Scheffler?
Good question. Don't really have a good answer, but it's a good question. I mean, I think it's just because, guys, that he's a little quiet.
Yeah.
Look, we're literally having the exact same conversation right now about Scotty Scheffler as we used to have about Brooks Koepka. Are we not?
Ooh, great
When are we going to
comparison.
fall in love with Brooks Koepka?
Did we ever?
No. Well, some of us have no problem with Brooks Koepka. Some of us
I love
tend
him.
to think that Brooks Koepka, acts a little bit like younger Tiger acted with the media, where he's pretty standoffish. He can, when he's kind of presented with the opportunity, maybe he can come across a little bit funnier or nicer or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know what? Brooks comes across like young Tiger, in my opinion. And so now, Scotty Scheffler doesn't have that little bubbly personality, but at the end of the day, when he's the best in the world, by far, the best in the world. I mean, he's a lot more personable than a lot of these guys, fellas. I think he is, I don't know. I mean, when I watch Scotty, I don't see this quiet fella at the end of the day. I think he gives you a little bit. I think some of these things on YouTube and stuff where he's able to call his shot, how far it goes, how far it carries, how far it does this or that. I mean, that's outside of the bounds of what some of these other guys do. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, I don't know why we can't fall in love with Scotty Scheffler. If Tiger wasn't so good, would we have fallen in love with Tiger with the way he acted, early on? I mean, it was just that Tiger was Tiger. Well, why can't Scotty be Scotty at the end of the day? He's a lot more personable than Tiger was at that point in time.
But you know the history, even back to Arnold Palmer being knocked off by Jack Nicklaus. There was a time that Jack Nicklaus was perceived as aloof and standoffish, and then he just won so much it made you love him. And I don't think what was Tom Watson's personality as he was coming up, kind of knocking off Jack Nicklaus. I'm sorry that I don't remember. I don't remember.
Good old boy from Kansas,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't tell me he was good old boy from Kansas for crying out loud. and has this great story about being from Kansas City and all this other stuff. So, at the end of the day, I think we go through this because these guys have become dominant. They're not exactly what we're looking for as far as that individual goes. So we pick them apart to try to find the flaws. I mean, look, we're all guilty of doing something along those lines. If I go someplace, go to Augusta National, you're walking around Augusta National and you're like, man, look at that spot right there, or look at that right there, or look at that right there. You come to your own place, your home club, your home golf course, and you're like, yeah, things aren't all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You see it on a day in, day out basis. So, I think that there's some of that where he's not everything everybody wants. So, we get nitpicky with it from that perspective. But again,
great answer.
We've been that way. We've been that way since, to your point, Nicholas and Palmer and things along those lines. I think when it's the person that's overtaking the person, we're going to find a flaw until we figure out exactly who they are. And, we're waiting for the wheels to fall off from Scotty Scheffler. Oh, they're going to have a baby. And then all of a sudden, Scotty's not going to be as dominant. We're waiting for,
here's who I think he is.
To be the number one player in the world or whatever. I have no idea.
I think this quick ascendancy of just winning everything. He could go on and it could become Tiger, it could become Nicklaus, it could become the greats of the game. But I think right now in this time period, this is what Johnny Miller was like.
Sure, yeah, because Johnny Miller was definitely
the king for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and I mean, okay, so to the point of our earlier conversation, I mean, when we've talked about this before, and Brett, you took him during the Masters, for the longest time, it's if Brooks Koepka's in an event, we're taking him.
Yeah.
I mean, if Scotty Scheffler's in an event, you're taking him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just that simple because he's just that good. Now, look, everybody's going to go through these stretches, and the wheels are going to fall off at some point in time, and he's going to have some hiccups. It's the way golf is. I mean, go back through time. I mean, Davis Love had great stretches of being able to play good golf. Fred Couples, great stretches of being able to play good golf. We all have great stretches where we, are a 12 handicap and can go out and shoot 80 or, 78 and your buddies look at you like you're a sandbagger and you're like, I don't know, fellas, I'm just playing well. And then, 4, 5, 6 rounds later, you shoot 90 and you're looking at them going, see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, Scotty's in one of those stretches right now. He has clearly separated himself, being the number one player in the world. And, I think there are worse people out there that we have seen over the time, Greg Norman, that
Hal Sutton.
I mean, that have been dominant that we don't like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know we got to get to these picks here in a second, but real quick before we get to that, earlier today it was announced Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy will receive loyalty payouts from the PGA Tour. Tiger's going to get $100 million in equity, and Rory's going to get $50 million in equity. What did you make of that announcement earlier this morning?
No wonder Rory got back on the policy board.
Rory wants to be loved.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get back on the policy board. I get a payout. Look, I mean, the funny part is, guys, is the rich just get richer. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, their argument is that the tour wouldn't be what the tour is without the things that they have done over time. And, I get it, but I think at the end of the day, it's kind of one of those things where it kind of almost makes it appear that they're in it for themselves, which I guess in some way, shape, or fashion aren't we all potentially in some way, shape, or fashion? So Look, I mean, we need to figure out a way to, merge these tours back together. We need to figure out a way to bring golf back together again. And, the more we keep talking about it on multiple fronts, the harder the challenge gets. And, from what you potentially hear, ratings are down from a tour perspective, and we struggle to try to find live events because it's on the CW. And there's just got to be a point in time where we figure out what this is and what it's going to look like, and kind of kumbaya around the fire and kind of move forward. Because the longer we continue to stay divisive, and Rory says one thing and then says another thing 2 days later and whatever, I think at the end of the day, Rory needed to do this to continue to cement the answer that he gave in the media, and that he doesn't want to go to live, and he doesn't want $850 million. And the best way to do that is that, he's got to get back involved on the policy board and continue to somewhat, I guess, be involved with whatever is going on between the tour and live, and trying to get everybody back together. So, clearly right now they continue to have some challenges, moving forward with, Rahm and others being on live with Ryder Cup. But clearly after the last one too, we've got bigger challenges. So, it benefits everybody to kind of figure this whole thing out and allow us to be able to move forward and see what golf is going to look like. And, as we move into the future, clearly now is the time. Golf is continuing to be extremely popular coming out of COVID. And, we need to figure out a way that professional golf can kind of coexist, just because clearly, the spectators / patrons / whatever are missing the Dustin Johnsons, the Brooks Koepkas, the John Rahms, and things along those lines on a week in, week out basis. So that's a very long-winded answer for what do you think of Tiger and Rory making $100 million, $50 million. So I'm sorry.
No, all good. I thought it was a really good answer.
Very good answer.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some picks. Johnny was the big winner last week. Yeah, I don't want
Great pick, Johnny. Great pick, Johnny.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
I don't want to spend much time on it, but I also was a winner last week. I'm still in fourth place, though.
You won the Bahamas Bowl. Johnny won the Fiesta.
I'm a winner. Only picked a winner of a golf tournament. But
yeah, way to go, New Orleans Bowl. Congratulations, Johnny. Johnny picked the BCS or the
Sugar Bowl,
college football playoff.
Thank you.
National champion.
Hey, thank you, John. I love the love from John, man. Appreciate it, man.
Bryant, you're up first.
I am up first. I will take.
Win a tournament and go first.
That's right.
That's hard to do, Bryant.
Sure is.
Oh, hey, is Scotty Scheffler playing this week?
He's not.
No, having that baby.
Sorry, out.
Yeah. So with Scotty not playing, I will take the team of Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele.
That was almost a lock of Scotty Scheffler proportions. My pick is the team of Sahith Theegala and Will Zalatoris. Johnny?
I got Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin.
Nick Taylor and Adam Hadwin. John?
You guys are well ahead of me. Yeah, no, sorry, fellas. I was running errands. I got a flat tire today. I am completely unprepared for the pick segment this week, which is completely my fault. As we rapidly scroll through multiple things,
Roy McIlroy's there to be had.
Is.
No, are you kidding?
If he's motivated after getting $50 million.
Rory does not want to be there in the least this week, fellas, and we all know it. We all know it. How about the Højgaard brothers, just for giggles?
You got it. Team Højgaard.
Oh, man.
Back around to Bryant for his second pick.
Let's go Morikawa and Kurt Kitayama.
Morikawa, Kitayama. That leaves me with I'm going to take him. I think he is glad to be there. I'll take McElroy Lowry, the Euro Ryder
What's
Cup
his
team.
walk-up music? Do they still do walk-up music down at Zurich? Didn't they used to do walk-up music down there since it was a
The
team
Stones are playing there next weekend at Jazz Fest, so maybe he's going to walk up to start me up.
Could very well.
And his British ties. So there you go. Johnny, your shot?
I got Taylor Moore and Matthew Naismith.
Moore and Naismith?
Yeah, that's really good.
John,
really
if you have
good.
trouble with the Højgaard boys, you know the Fitzpatrick brothers are out there.
So is Andrew Putnam.
Wow.
Hostler, too.
Wow.
Get Haas. Ooh.
You know, it's a good thing. I picked a really good week to just swag picks, just because of I'm gonna take the approach of I have such a large lead at this point of the season. This week really doesn't matter. That's gonna be be my approach, I guess. How about Garrick Higo and Ryan Fox?
I love that pick. Oh man, that's a great one.
Right. See, loves that pick, but Johnny last week doesn't like Scotty Scheffler. No credit.
What's wrong with
these
this
boys
man?
wind up doing something, if these guys wind up doing something next week, you guys will never hear the end of it. I'm just telling you right now.
Man, I feel it, John.
Just saying, I don't know. Well, John, before we let you go,
It's
tell
terrible. It's a horrible pick. I know it's a horrible pick, but I mean, I've already admitted I'm unprepared for this for the pick segment. I had way too much happening today. We're fixing a 6-inch main that's 8 feet underground over here. We were digging it up and just trying to get our irrigation system back up. So I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to everybody at Sports 56. This was a terrible pick segment for me. But again, as we prefaced this earlier on, you're getting the full golf course owner experience today.
Well, it sounds like just like Scotty Scheffler, you're not showing up for golf picks this week. So maybe,
Zero
next
chance.
week. Maybe next week. Well, John, before we let you go, tell us one more time about what y'all have going on down at Timber Trust and how people, where people can call to make a tee time.
Well, I mean, it looks like we're maybe finally getting into a decent weather pattern here. We got a little bit of rain tomorrow night, but we got 2-man scramble every single week. There's still some spots available for tomorrow night. 662-895-3530 is the number to call. You can visit us at timbertrustgolf.com to be able to book your tee time there. And, weather looks halfway decent, warm, and everything this weekend, so it should be a great weekend for golf. Come on down to North Mississippi and experience what we got going on here at Timber Trust Golf Course.
Absolutely. Well,
John, you're doing great work.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you next
guys.
week.
All right, y'all take care. Enjoy.
Thanks.
You got it.
John Goen from Timber Trust joins us every week to talk some golf and make some golf picks.
Brian, I love your teams.
Thank you. I'll be honest. I have no idea who John picked with his second team.
I'm scrambling to the entry field.
I seen it on Brett's face.
That's why I love it. I mean, that'll be fun to keep up with over the weekend.
It was a stunner.
You go in Fox. I love it.
I think John has such a big lead. He's feeling sorry for us.
I guess so. Maybe
he did.
Trying to make it interesting.
Man, I don't want to win the sympathy card, Johnny. That's no
Johnny,
way
that
to win.
was Brett last year. Was it last year when you got that big lead and you were saying, "Well, guys, we could change the rules a little bit. We could do this and
Brett.
that, and we can make it a little better."
I was trying to keep it friendly, Johnny. Bad playing for blood.
He was. And none of us were
Golf
happy about
picks
that
get
either.
bloody.
Oh man, going straight for the throat.
It's always that, when someone tries to play that sympathy card, we can change some things. That always makes it worse.
Brian. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. Is when you're at the golf course and and probably on a drive and somebody goes, well, that's a nice little drive.
Sure.
Little.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I heard an announcer. It was the tournament before the Masters. It was down at Houston. One of the announcers talking about a pro with a nice little game. You're on the PGA Tour. You got more than a nice little game.
You got a nice big game.
But anytime somebody pat you on the head,
Right.
well, that was a nice little
nice
shot.
little drive, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, we're going to have some fun. NFL draft tomorrow night. We're going to rank our top 10 draft picks of the 21st century. That's next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is, getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-480-6932. That's 800-480-6932. 800-480-6932.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All 650 acquisition P 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The police are working with a couple of minor accidents now. It's heavy already over here on 240 East up by Poplar. That's only going to get busier here in the next few minutes. Traffic through the Midtown area was rough earlier. Now it looks a little bit better, and now it's time for that to crank up on 240 South, especially from Union all the way down to Norris as traffic increases in this construction zone over here. It has been the last couple of days trying to get a little bit tricky over there on 55 up by Crump. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the NFL draft is tomorrow night, and I wish I had my countdown on ESPN, but they don't have it up right now. But we're about, 26 hours, 25 and some change hours, whatever it is, away from the NFL draft. So we thought it would be fun today for probably a lot of people doing mock drafts, talking about some of the top picks for this year, where they're gonna go, yada yada yada. Who cares about that? Because tomorrow night we'll find out where they're actually going. So we thought it would be fun to rank our top 10 draft picks of the 21st century.
And with that, tomorrow night when you're watching, over the next 3 days when we're watching, who is the person that when they speak you're listening to? Analysts, maybe even the host role. I'm so glad for our friend Laura Rutledge but what she's done with her great career, and a few weeks ago watching her at Augusta and texting with her, just so good. Who is it you watch, and when he or she speaks, you listen?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know, maybe like Schefter or something like that. Somebody who's just really plugged in.
Mine's Mel.
Yeah, Mel's pretty good.
It's not a note around. It's unbelievable.
No, you're right about that. There's plenty of good ones out there.
Sure is, and not just ESPN.
Sure. Yeah, I think you immediately go to ESPN just because that's where the draft is, and you.
I kind of like flipping back and forth to NFL Network too.
Sure, absolutely. So there's some good ones.
Did you prefer it when it was Saturday, or do you like Thursday night primetime?
I'm cool with Thursday night primetime. It's cool. I mean, it's almost like an event you kind of set your week around. No, Thursday night I got to be somewhere to watch the draft, so that kind of makes it fun.
It is, and now I know he will. Does Goodell deserve to be booed in Detroit tomorrow night? I know he gets that treatment everywhere, and there are places that it's, I think justified. In New Orleans for sure, and maybe in New England after, Deflategate.
Sure, but I don't think in Detroit. I mean, the NFL.
What are they really sore at him about?
Yeah, they shouldn't be sore about anything. I mean, from what I've heard from reporters in Detroit and people in Detroit, I mean, the NFL being there has done a lot for their city. So I mean, you definitely shouldn't be.
And Detroit really on the comeback.
Oh, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of
after
stories
being down.
Sure.
Their industry changed.
No, absolutely. I saw a couple stories earlier this morning about how Detroit gonna show the world tomorrow night with the draft of how the city's renaissance, the city's comeback. So it'll be fun to see tomorrow night in Detroit.
All right, let's remind dear listener of what we're trying to do here. And I wish, Brian, there was a time last night and this morning working on this. I go, what in the heck? I got plenty to do. What did I do this for? We're trying to come up with our top 10 draft picks of the 21st century.
Sure.
One of the first things I had to do is I wanted Adam Vinatieri somewhere in mind. He was drafted in '96.
Right.
So you had to be drafted regardless of round in the 21st century, and I will tell you up front, I'm a little irritated at myself. I have 5 non-Super Bowl winners, 5 Super Bowl winners, and I only have 2 defensive players.
Wow. I think I only have 2 defensive players on mine. I think I had 3.
We almost need that ESPN jingle from Johnny for first pick. All right, you go. You give your 1, and I'll give my 1.
Okay. Number 1 for me, Tom Brady, 6th round, 199 in 2000.
He was in 2000?
He was in 2000.
Oh, I've already blown it then.
He was in 2000. I double-checked because I was talking to a buddy
His senior
last
year
night.
was 99.
That's
It was drafted.
I was talking to a
Brian,
buddy,
you've already knew
and
me.
he was giving.
Hey, that's a big one right there, Brian.
That's a big one. That's it of all time.
Well, I texted my buddy
I've blown
last
it
night
already.
when we left here, and I said I've got to do a list tomorrow, best draft picks of the 21st century, and he started throwing names at me, and I go, Tom Brady's
Brian, that's
easily
great.
number 1, and he goes, Tom Brady was drafted in 99. I go, no, he was
Fall
drafted
the
in
senior
2000.
year was 99. You're right. You are. Oh man, I've already blown it. I've blown the whole segment. I may have ruined the whole show today with this.
Well, Brett, again, that's why you start from the bottom and you work your way up.
Oh man,
Brett, you good? You didn't ruin the show, Brett. There's still plenty of picks, man.
I can't even. Oh yeah, I got Tom Brady too. I can't even do it. I got Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good one. I mean, that's a
Hey,
good
that's
one.
solid, Brett.
In 96 games, he's already won 3 Super Bowls and changed the franchise.
Absolutely.
Now I'm getting from a friend of mine that technically the 21st century didn't start until January 1, 2001. No. That's not every.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to go back to those times. And I used to offer up that, to my friend, I know is listening, no, technically, when you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right. Yeah, so.
The last year of a decade is 9.
That's right.
Not 10.
That's right.
10 starting at 0, starting a new one.
That's right.
So
just snuck in there. How about that?
All right, let me offer up my number 2. Tom Brady. No, my number 2, Larry Fitzgerald.
That's a really good one. Wow, I don't have Fitzgerald on mine.
Ooh, that's amazing right there, Brett. That's good.
263 games played, drafted in 04, first round, 3rd pick, Larry Fitz.
Wow, that's a really
Went to a
good
Super
one.
Bowl, didn't win one.
That's a really good one. Number 2 for me, Jason Kelsey, 6th round, 191st pick in 2011, will go to the Hall of Fame and has a great media career waiting for him.
Man, Johnny, Bryant has opened up a can on me, hadn't he?
Well, I told you.
Hey, he came out swinging.
All my picks, except for one, are value picks. So you're going to hear a lot of 5th round, 6th round. There's only one guy on my list that is a 1st round pick, and I demoted him. I have him down farther in my list because he's a 1st round pick.
He's strolling into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I'm getting from all my buddies. Was year 2000 technically in the 21st century? Yes. If you start counting 0, 1, 2, I had that whole battle in 99 with all the look back of, and ESPN had the best series. What was it called? Golly, that Chris Fowler narrated most of it. It was so good of naming the top sports figures in the 20th century. And we've had this radio battle before. Yeah, text lines now. My phone line and text lines.
Yeah. Well, I just looked it up, and even the internet gives you mixed answers. Some websites say it starts in January 1st, 2001. Some are
mixed bag at Google.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? Maybe we just have to throw Tom Brady as a question mark one.
I'm going to say you're right, and I was wrong.
I'll take it. I don't know.
I am. You're number 3.
My number 3, Bobby Wagner, 2nd round, 47th pick in the year 2012. A great career for Bobby Wagner. He's also a personal favorite of mine, so I had to put Bobby in there.
And you've got all Super Bowl winners so far, too.
So far. Now, that will change, but yes.
I've got LaDainian Tomlinson 3.
Ooh, great pick. That's a great pick.
170 games played in the Hall of Fame. No Super Bowl appearance. 1st round, 5th pick in Alt 1.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Number 4, Aaron Rodgers for me.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one. I almost put Aaron Rodgers on mine, but I just kind of ran out of names. My brother wanted me to put him on there. I wanted to put him on there, but I just didn't. So
You don't need A-Rod, man.
too bad for me. I love Aaron Rodgers.
Who's you for?
4 for me, Antonio Brown, 6th round, number 195 in the 2010 draft. Antonio Brown, AB, might be crazy now, but he was a heck of
That's
a
a great
player.
pick, bro.
Number 5 for me, Big Joe Thomas. First round, third
Oh,
pick,
that's a good one.
07,
I love it. Back to back.
167 games and that gold jacket.
That's a really good one. 5 for me, Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah, 5th round, 206th pick from 2016. How about that?
You're
Actually,
6.
6 for me. Oh, a big-time current player who just got a bag today, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round, 112 in the 2021 draft.
My 6 played in 154 career games, just retired, strolling into Canton. I mean, just walking down the main drag in Canton by himself. Aaron Donald.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
Oh, great one. Great
That
one,
is a
Brett.
really, really good one.
Number 7 for me, Gronk, Rob Gronkowski.
I like that.
That's
Second round,
That's real
42nd pick, and top 2 or 3 tight ends to ever play.
That's a really good one. That's a great one. Number 7 for me, Richard Sherman, 5th round, 154 in
Great pick, Brad.
2011. Lockdown corner. For a while there was the best corner in the game. Give me Sherman.
I love these later round
Thank
picks,
you.
man.
I'm a value
Number
guy.
8 for you.
Number 8 for me, you already have him on your list, Rob Gronkowski, 2nd
Way to
round,
go.
42nd pick in 2010.
First one we've agreed on.
That's right. That's right.
I knew it was going to be all over the
Oh,
place.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Number 8 for me, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVP, 16-year career, 236 career games, Iron Man, once a giant, always a giant, Elijah Nelson Manning.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Eli Manning, a really good one in there. Number 9 for me, Patrick Mahomes. First round, number 10 was not
Second
the first
one
round.
for us.
That's right. Not the first overall quarterback taken in that draft, and what he has already done in his career, I got to have him on my list, number 9.
Number 9 for me, 241 career games, played in a Super Bowl, this team's all-time leading rusher, third-round pick, 65th overall, 2005 draft, Frank Gore.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Frank Gore. I love Frank Gore. Number 10 for you?
Not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Been tough luck, left out the last couple of ballots. I think he's got a little Scotty Scheffler syndrome that he's boring.
Okay.
But coming off that edge, he wasn't boring. He didn't have a dance. He didn't have an act.
Right.
He just played ball. 4th round, 126th overall, Jared Allen.
That's a really good one. I love Jared Allen. That's a great one. Wow. Okay. I like
Has
that
to
one.
has to go in this year in
Sure.
the vote.
Oh, you got to think. You got to think. Number 10 for me, my entire list outside of Patrick Mahomes, and that he's obviously in there for good reason, has been all about the value. How could you not have a value list without the dead last pick that has been a starting quarterback, that has been in conversations for MVP, that has led his team deep into the playoffs? Brock Purdy, welcome to the top 10, 7th round, number 262 in 2022.
Brian, that's so good. I mean, it's indefensible. I left him off.
I mean, in Brock Purdy, some people love him, some people hate him. I'm kind of right there in the middle.
He was last.
He was dead last, and I didn't want to put him on there. And then when I was talking with Connor, I was talking to one of my buddies, and I said, I mean, he was the last.
Yeah, he's the last one.
Think of guys quarterbacks taken in the 2nd round, 1st round, that are now out of the league, that couldn't even
great
become a
point.
starter
That's a
in
great
the league.
point.
He's the last
like
pick in the
Johnny
entire
Football?
draft. Yes, like Johnny
That's
Football.
a great point.
Couldn't be a starter. I can think of a couple
Like
of quarterbacks in
Jamarcus
the
Russell?
Yes.
Jamarcus, that's
That
another
was
one,
taken
Brett.
in the
But
first
he can
round.
throw a football 75 yards on his
could.
knees.
Absolutely.
Jamarcus, I don't need you on your knees. I need you standing up and not throwing it to the other team.
That's right. That's right. We could go down a whole list of first-round quarterbacks that could not be starters in the NFL. And you got the last pick in the entire draft, not just a quarterback, not just a
It
starting
needs no
quarterback
explanation. It's a great
in
pick.
the NFL, but for the San Francisco 49ers. It's incredible.
Wow. Boy, this inspired more than I ever dreamed I thought it would.
I love it.
I've got friends mad at me, text lines. No, yes.
Well, I want to hear
it is 21st century.
I want to hear everybody's thoughts. 901-360-8255. Text us or no. 2000 is part of the 21st century. I want to know. Because like I said, even Google doesn't know. I'm seeing some websites that say, no, it is not. I'm seeing other people saying, yes, it is. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll figure it out. I don't know if we'll ever figure it out. That one might be one of the great mysteries for us. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family-friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. What a great time to buy a new or used car or truck and save money at Sunrise. The largest selection in over a year, over 500 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from, an $8 million used car inventory. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Factory rebates up to $6,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Immediate financing available with loans low as 0% on select models. Cars and trucks under $10,000. When it comes to selection and savings, it doesn't get any better than this, partner. Come on in and save some money at Sunrise. Coming to Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or a 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36 month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Crossport RC 23649, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
My big number today, I don't know where I was going to go with this. Could have gone a couple different ways, but I'm going to go with the NBA on this one, and we will go with 1967. Yeah, that's a year, 1967. Last night, Pascal Siakam of the Pacers is the first NBA player to open the playoffs with back-to-back 35-point, 10-rebound games since the year 1967.
May I guess?
Please, Brett.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain did it in 1967.
They won it that year.
Yeah, so big-time games to start for Pascal Siakam. That's the guy the Pacers got via a trade.
Was that Philadelphia or San Francisco Warriors that won it in 67?
Man. Oh, good question.
Because that broke up a long Celtic streak.
I don't know.
Now, do you believe Wilt really played?
Well, that's a great question, Brett. I would rather get more information before I answer that.
67 was Philadelphia 76ers.
How about that?
With Wilt Chamberlain.
There we go. So how about that? So yeah, Pascal Siakam, 2 really, really good performances for him, and they're going to need more performances like that if they want to beat the Bucks in this series. I'm afraid.
Yeah, that stopped a long Boston Celtics streak. I said yesterday I would have draft today and tomorrow, and I do. My big number is 53. It's been 53 years since 1971 that the New Orleans Saints have taken a quarterback in the first round. The last time they took a quarterback in the first round, Archie Manning.
Wow. Is that right?
Number 2 overall, first round.
Holy cow.
In the 71 draft. And I think that draft was like in January even.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 1 overall that year was Jim Plunkett out of Stanford to the Patriots. 2 was Archie Manning to the Saints. 3 was Dan Pastorini out of Santa Clara to the Oilers.
Wow. Interesting. That's a really good big
No
number.
quarterback since then.
Interesting.
In the first round.
Yeah. So we talked about the top 10 draft picks in our last segment. I want to get this out there before we get to a break. I know we got to get to one. But someone texted in and said, honorable mention, Dak Prescott, ? Certainly could be up there.
Sure could be.
And, to be what
sure
he's
could
done
be.
with Cowboys, if you're doing what I did and we're going value picks, Dak Prescott has got to be up there. Still a lot of people texting in, debating the whole 21st century. I still don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe.
And the ESPN great series was Sports Century.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
how about that?
And it ran in the fall of 99.
All right. So, hey, look, I'm not saying ESPN's law, but just saying it's pretty good. But let's go ahead and get to a break, wrap up this hour, and when we come back, we're talking NBA with Rob Fisher.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like I couldn't do pull-ups, I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's already heavy over here on 240 East trying to get past Poplar. Just give yourself some extra time up through there as you work your way towards Walnut Grove. It's busy now, 40 East from, let's say, Sycamore View Road all the way out into Fayette County. Lots of radar out in parts of Fayette County this afternoon on 40 East and westbound. Be careful as it builds out of Midtown on 240 South over here at Union. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk some NBA, Rob Fisher. You can catch him on all of the Grizzlies television broadcasts from Grind City Media. He joins us to talk the NBA playoffs. Rob, thanks so much for joining us. And I got to start off, we've seen most of these teams play 2 games. We'll see a couple of the other teams left play their second game tonight. But what team has really impressed you so far to start the playoffs?
I would say Minnesota
Yeah.
Has impressed me a lot. Who else? Cleveland's impressed me a lot, the way that they've defended. I mean, Orlando's only scoring 84.5 points a game. You're not going to win in the NBA doing that. So they've been impressive in that first round. And, Orlando, a good team. I mean, that's a 4-5 matchup, and they have just dominated defensively in that one. Denver looks impressive. They have fallen behind, but the way that they battle back and you feel like they're not out of it, the way Murray's playing, it's playoff Murray, it's MVP Jokic. So they look as impressive as always.
Rob, could Denver be that team that if they won 3 or 4 out of the next 5 or 6 years, because, Rob, we remember, both of us, I mean, it was lovable Golden State and Riley Curry blowing kisses coming into the arena, and we liked Steph, that baby face, and then they became the Red Sox and the Yankees. They became the evil empire. Can the Nuggets become the evil empire?
I guess they could become the evil empire. What's different, though, is the Nuggets aren't going to be lovable like the Warriors were. I mean, because the Warriors were fun. The Nuggets are just really good. They're more like San Antonio than Golden State as far as the lovable characteristic goes. So, like San Antonio, you win, you start winning and winning consistently, and you become a dynasty. Yeah, I think you can become hated. But I think they'd become more hated just because they're, because it's not like Jokic or Jamal Murray or Michael Porter. They're not talking smack to you. They just come out and play, and they get the job done. Now, maybe that changes after you win a couple, but I can't imagine Jokic turning into that guy. Like San Antonio in their dynasty, I think they'd be respected yet kind of annoying. Maybe not hated, but more annoying than anything else.
So, Rob, you kind of just described, I don't think Kirby Smart and George is hated yet. They just come out and beat you.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't think they're at that point. Clemson didn't get to that point either.
Yeah, we hated Dabo.
Yeah, I mean, our SEC people hate anybody outside the SEC, so that is true. But I think that Georgia certainly they're one of those same teams. They're respected right now. They're not so much hated. Now, win a couple more and keep going seasons without losing games, that might change really quick.
Yeah. Last night, the Pacers got a win on the road against the Bucks, and now today, Shams Charania are reporting that Giannis could miss the entire first round, that he's not able to run, he's not able to scrimmage right now with the team, so that it looks like it's still some time. How big of a loss is that going to be for the Bucks, and do you think the Pacers can keep the heat on them enough to stretch this out to 6 or 7 games, maybe even win this series?
Well, if Pascal Siakam keeps playing the way that he's playing, sure, they can. I think it just evens the series up. I think the series is we saw the Bucks really dominate in Game 1, and the Bucks have enough good players. Damian Lillard's on the team for crying out loud, and they got a lot of good players around him. So I think that's just they're still really good, but it takes them from being great to being really good, and I think that's a huge difference without Giannis. So the Pacers, they keep getting the production they're getting and being able to score and being able to get up and down the floor. Yeah, I think it makes it an even series. So I don't know who I'd pick at this point. I liked Milwaukee before the series began, but that was kind of hoping that Giannis would be back at some point. I think I'd still stick with Milwaukee just because I think depth-wise they are just better. They have better players. So I'm going to stick with Milwaukee, but it wouldn't shock me if Indiana goes home and gets a couple on the home floor.
Yeah. Last night, also the late-night game, Mavs get a win on the road as well over the Clippers. I know last week when we were talking with you, and it seems like when you're talking with a lot of people going into this weekend, that the Mavs-Clippers game was one everybody was excited about. It's really kind of lived up to it. What have you made of the first two games of that series?
Kind of like how I think the series is going to go. Yeah. The Clippers, if their three guys are really good, they're hard to beat. But the Mavericks have two guys that can be great, and if they are great, they're pretty tough to beat as well. So, and I think the way that they were getting rebounding and what Lively can do off the bench, I think helps the Mavericks as well. I think it's going to be an interesting series. I think it's going to be a shootout, and whoever has the bigger nights from their stars, that's the team that's going to win. I think that's what it comes down to.
Rob, I called my shot earlier. I told Bryant and Johnny that I would ask this question of you. This version of Oklahoma City, the young phenoms, and we know they're going to be a ton of trouble for a while. Is this a better version of young and hungry, if you will, than the Harden, Durant, Westbrook years?
Oh, man. Well, I think I would say no. I mean, if they held on to those guys, what could have been. You're talking about 3 Hall of Famers.
That's it. I told Brian. You're right there at it. I told him. I said, Rob's going to go. Tell me which one's Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 Hall of Famers, and I look at Oklahoma City now, and I'm like, well. It's tough to give anybody that this early in their careers. But if you would project out and, SGA and maybe Holmgren, but then who?
Yeah.
So I don't think it compares.
And I'm looking at the roster now. Now, Harden was not on the team that played in the finals. It was right before that. But, boy, maybe I didn't appreciate them enough then because sports fan hated them then, but had Serge Ibaka, had Kendrick Perkins, had Derek Fisher at the end on that team, had Caron Butler, had Steven Adams,
and Nick Collison.
Yeah,
and just a team. They were fun to hate, and it was fun to hate them because you played them in the playoffs. It felt like every year, and
they had Hasheem the beat, and we really hated him.
Yeah, so now we got to start that up again, starting next year, getting back in the playoffs and getting some of that sports hate going for some of these teams that we play. It would have been fun to be in the playoffs this year and get the Lakers again and get that driven up from last year, or get Minnesota again at some point and have a battle with them again. So it's unfortunate that we don't have that this year, but we can steam it up again real quick.
Sure, absolutely. Well, speaking of the Thunder, in that first game against the Pelicans, you kind of saw they get the win, but especially down the stretch, some of that youth showed. It felt like a couple times they were going to pull away and maybe even win that game by double digits, but rebounding was a big issue for them. New Orleans grabbed 18 offensive rebounds in that game and really dominated the boards. What do you think is different in this game? How do you think tonight plays out with the Pelicans and the Thunder?
I think the Pelicans I think Thunder got their legs under them now. Mm-hmm. I think they got their introduction to the playoffs, and I think we'll see a much better Thunder team tonight. Pelicans, man, without Zion, it's tough. Yeah. And as I talked about last week, without a real point guard, it's tough. I mean, look at the Phoenix Suns. That's the same problem they're having. If you don't have a real point guard, I mean, how do you make things happen? And for the Suns, it's just get the ball and one-on-one with three guys who can do it and can score. But, what are you really getting into? What's easy? And not a lot for Phoenix. And that's a problem. And I think that's a problem for New Orleans. And I think that'll be a problem as the series goes on against Oklahoma City, because Oklahoma City's got a guy with the ball in his hands that can create and can score and can make so many things happen. I like Oklahoma City. I like them a lot. I think the Pelicans maybe win a game at home, but I don't see this one going past 5.
And Rob, we talked about it last week, and I've talked about it on Monday with DeMichael. I talked about it yesterday. And I promise I'll leave it alone after today. And I'm not trying to sound like a homer. I'm for the Grizzlies, but I don't have to try to do that. But I don't look at New Orleans and think if the Grizzlies are hale and hearty, healthy, and we have some semblance of normal year, I don't think New Orleans is ahead of Memphis. I think Minnesota, that they are. I don't think Phoenix is light years, if any, ahead. I don't think the Lakers are if it's normal. We talked about that last week, I know, but over Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday this week, it's only been confirmed for me with just a normal year. Please have one. The Grizzlies can be right back there with the playoff fun.
The teams that you mentioned, to me, I think it's the easy answer. To me, I think the Grizzlies healthy this season would have been a top 3 team. I don't have any doubt of that. Whether it's Denver, Minnesota, or Oklahoma City behind them.
Even the suspension games with y'all?
Well, no.
Okay.
No, that's a good point. No, I'm talking about the team
normal
as a
year.
whole from
Yeah.
start to finish. Yeah.
Normal year like we never have.
Right.
Yeah, you're a top 3 team. Now, so much can change. If this team had Steven Adams to start the year in those first 25, I don't think you would have gone what you went. I think your record would have been better. But it is what it is, and other guys got hurt, and then everything spiraled from there. But if everything was right, if it was a normal year, I see no reason why the Grizzlies wouldn't have been top 3 again. And we're going to hear it this offseason again, Stats. We hear it every single year. Well, the West is loaded. The West is loaded. It's going to be real tough. You want to just stay out of that play-in. That's what's going to be said. And every year I've given the same answer for the last 4 years. Now, this year it turns out, the West was loaded and we didn't have a prayer, but we know why that was the case. But the last 2 years have been the same thing of the West is loaded. Everybody got better. Well, so did the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies are one of the loaded teams. And the Grizzlies got better. And I assume this offseason the Grizzlies are going to get better. And I think their offseason is going to be productive. I expect it to be productive. And I expect this team to come back and be a top 3 seed again next year. This talk about the West being loaded, you have to include the Grizzlies when you talk about the West being loaded.
And one thing out of this nightmarish year, and I said to you last week, I don't know how they won 27. Give me 18 and 23 on the road next year, and you won't have to go on a road trip. Give me that and that 35 and 6 at home, and you're in really good shape. That's 53 wins, I think, if I had right.
Yeah, pretty amazing what they did on the road this year, having a better record than what they had last year as a 2 seed, which is incredible. Just speaks to what they did at home the year before as well. But, 500 on the road, you'd take it any time, and for this team to be close to that was pretty remarkable.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Talking to Rob Fisher, he joins us to talk the NBA playoffs from all the Grizzlies television broadcast, Grind City Media. Going back to Monday, a lot of talk yesterday about the end of that 76ers and Knicks game. We get the 2-minute report from the NBA yesterday afternoon saying they missed several calls late in that game before that quick turnaround that gave the Knicks the lead. They did not award a timeout that was very clearly being given. What'd you make of that, the end of that game and this series between the 76ers and the Knicks? Because now New York leads the series 2-0, but this series has felt a lot closer than that.
Well, New York could be down 2-0 very easily.
Yeah.
If just a couple of different things change. I thought Philadelphia, with not having Joel Embiid for a lot of game 1, and when he did play, especially in the second half, how hobbled he was. they had a great opportunity to steal one under those circumstances, which might have let you even rest Embiid in Game 2, which they were not able to do. And then in Game 2, for the Sixers to have it just stolen from them at the end of the game, it was man. I was watching it live, and I was surprised there was no whistle, but to me, that's the playoffs, and the whistle didn't happen, and I thought it was kind of amusing. I've never seen a guy on the ground for a loose ball and no whistle blown like that before. It was incredible. And then the ball wrestled for underneath the basket, and then it comes out to Hartenstein comes out to DiVincenzo for the second time, and he scored. It was incredible. The Knicks had no right winning that game. So for the Knicks' sake, they've escaped, and they're just exactly where they want to be, up 2-0, heading on the road with a lot of confidence, despite the fact almost being down 2-0. The Philadelphia, it could go one of two ways. You're really down about what's happened to start this series, and you're down 2-0, and you think your backs are against the wall, and Embiid's just not 100%, and those two wasted opportunities come back to haunt you. Or you come back and take care of business at home, which I think to see how they've competed against them with the minutes Embiid hasn't played shows that they can beat them, and shows that they can beat them at home. So I think Philadelphia's got a good chance, but this is the most compelling 2-0 series in my mind, and I don't even think it's close. That this series could easily be 2-2 when we leave Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that's what they're counting on. They're also thinking, like we often do in sports, we're down 2-0, and look how we've lost. I mean, so we know we got a lot to fire at. Rob, you only see those Eastern places one time a year. Play at FedEx Forum once, and you go there once. Is Madison Square Garden for you? Is that the one of those Eastern arenas that you go in and you think this is a really good day for me to be here, to be at Madison Square Garden, home of the Knickerbockers, or do you have a place you prefer more in the East?
No, it's Madison Square Garden for me. It's for a number of reasons. First and foremost, there are certain arenas that I've gone to, or stadiums that I've gone to, Churchill Downs in Louisville on Derby Day. I've gone to the Montreal Forum before that was torn down, to go to Wrigley Field. I've never been to Fenway, but I'm sure it's the same way. When you walk into these places, it's just the history just smacks you in the face, and you can't ignore it. It's an incredible feeling. And at Madison Square Garden, from the moment you get to the locker room to the walk all the way out the tunnel to the floor, are pictures of every performer. It can't be every performer, but most of the performers that they've had at Madison Square Garden, and pictures from big games that have been there, and big fights that have been there, and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, and I mean, it goes back years, and it's just amazing to watch that. And then when you walk out from the locker room, the history just smacks you again in the face as you look up and you see that iconic ceiling that they have at Madison Square Garden and that iconic scoreboard. And you look, and then you look at the numbers and the rafters, and it's incredible. And the stage lighting. I mean, there's so much of history that goes into being in that place that it just is really, there's no comparison around the league. There are fun places to go, great arenas to travel to, great atmospheres to be in, but there's nothing that beats just that history of Madison Square Garden.
Do you know if they still have the real organist, or is that Game Ops music?
I don't know, but I would guess it's still a real organist.
I hope so.
About that.
I think so.
Because it's great. They bring it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially for hockey. This time of year, hockey games, and they're one of the best teams in the NHL this year. Yeah, they better bring the regular organ. I mean, that's tradition.
Yeah, we don't need any piped-in stuff at Madison Square Garden. Rob Fisher with us talking NBA. He's on Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Now, when you walk down that hall and you see all those performers and entertainers, because I know when you are involved in karaoke, you've always told me that you are not singing at karaoke, you are performing. So when you go down through there, do you feel like you're going out to the Garden to perform that night?
Absolutely. I mean,
of course you do.
I mean, again, one of my two of my favorite pictures. One is it's like from it was like underneath the basket during the anthem of me, and it's from down below, and so like you see my head and you see the ceiling behind me, and it's awesome. I mean, you know exactly where I'm at. You know that's Madison Square Garden,
and that ceiling's so low.
Yeah, and then there's another one where I'm actually doing my hit, and someone took a picture from the crowd of me doing my first hit on the floor at Madison Square Garden, and I have a picture of Pete and I on Madison Square Garden sitting in our stools right next to where the sign says Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
It's awesome.
So, I mean, those are so yeah, you feel like you're performing. I mean, I planned my wardrobe for Madison Square Garden because I know I'm going to see Clyde Frazier, and so when I see Walton, to be able to see him and spend a few minutes with him is always a pleasure. And it feels like you're on stage when you're at Madison Square Garden for sure.
Well, I got to ask now before we let you go, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Well, my go-to performance song
Yes.
is Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Ooh.
I knew that answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And if you've ever heard Poison live, it's dead on. So just to let you know.
All right.
That is good stuff.
Rob, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Rob Fisher with us from Grind City Media and Grizzlies TV, and it is delightful to hear you. I knew that answer.
That's
Brian.
awesome. That's great.
Because the first time he ever told me, he goes, no, I don't participate. I don't go to karaoke. I perform.
I love that. That's awesome. I'm using that. Like, I'm stealing that next time anybody asks me to go karaoke, or if there's somewhere that's having karaoke, I'm using that. That's perfect. I love that.
And the Philly fans are going to be ready for a piece of the Knicks, too.
Sure are. You got that right.
It's going to be a lot different than games 1 and 2. At All-Star Chevrolet, together, let's all drive from All-Star Chevrolet, and you can head down Highway 78 into Mississippi. First exit's Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there. And if you want to get charged up, they've got it. All the new EV Blazers at All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch. Come test drive one of those, and that's really becoming very popular for a lot of people. But it's still Chevy truck season. If you're ready for a new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months, thousands in cash and trade, and the new Trailblazers, the new Equinox with 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. That's all the way basically through the summer. Your good credit deserves it. You get it at All-Star Chevrolet. And if you want something pre-owned, they have it. Everything you want's right there on their lot, fully stocked just like it should be. Jeeps, Tahoes, Suburbans, Ram trucks, the Traverse with third-row seating. If it's not on the lot, by chance, ask Kevin or Jeff or Drew, any member of the team. They'll find it and then get it there almost overnight. Teachers, college students, healthcare workers, first responders, military, you get an extra $500 bonus back instantly. Where are we going for graduation, for Mother's Day, for that first big road trip of the summer? You got a baseball trip planned, a golf trip planned. What are you driving? You need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet. Remember, it's not Collierville, it's not South Haven, it's not Mount Moriah, it's not Bartlett. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star Chevy and Olive Branch today, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. and it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Thoroughbred Racing is combining its tradition of hands-on care with cutting-edge technology, raising safety standards to the highest levels. New investments in wearable biometric devices, AI, and advanced imaging to help reduce injury risk. And the sport's new independent regulator, HISA, is implementing uniform rules, testing, and strict enforcement, an ecosystem of care, and a commitment to protect horse and rider. It's safety that runs first. To learn more, visit safetyrunsfirst.com.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you buy their other jewelry at inflated prices just to be considered for a Rolex purchase. Well, that's all changed now that Genesis Diamonds has arrived. Genesis Diamonds is the premier dealer of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. People who come in are shocked to see Daytonas, Hulks, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejusts, all the hard-to-find Rolex watches ready to wear today. At Genesis, we've used our worldwide connections to find only the first luxury pre-owned Rolexes, immaculate, pristine watches, fairly priced with no strings attached, and with flexible financing options. So enough with the wait lists and the retail jeweler games. Get the Rolex of your dreams today at Genesis Diamonds. And if you already have a Rolex and are interested in trading up, we also have Rolex buyers on site every day. Just another example of how we're forever changing the jewelry landscape here. Genesis Diamonds, official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We still got this heavy traffic over here waiting for you on 240 East, working your way past Poplar up towards Walnut Grove. It's building now right on schedule on 240 East from Mill Branch out to 385. Bill Morris Parkway itself still looks pretty decent at the moment. Headed on out into Collierville, south of Memphis. That's on the increase, but it still looks pretty good, though, on 55 South down through South Haven all the way into DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your Mother's Day headquarters. Shop local this Mother's Day at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending, and there's been a lot of talk lately, the past couple of days, and it's been growing, about the 5-star prospect Jaden Quintons, who will be taking an official visit to Memphis this week. And we've talked about it a couple times this week, but originally a part of the Kentucky class under John Calipari. Him, along with the rest of that class, all decommitted, asked out of their NLI, and some of them, it sounds like, are going to go to Arkansas, but Jaden Quinton's one who it has come out that he is not going to go to Arkansas. He does not want to be a part of that team, and so now it sounds like it's down between Louisville and Memphis after we learned yesterday that Kentucky was supposed to visit him and did not end up visiting him last night. So it looks like it might be down between Memphis and Louisville. He visited Louisville last week. His Memphis visit will come up this weekend.
And he is 16.
16 years old. Reclassed from 2025 to 2024.
When did he turn 16? Do you know a birthday? Or when does he turn 17? Would it be before next season? That is really young. That's right up there with the 15-year-old golfer at the Korn Ferry Tour.
Sure
that is really young.
Whenever his birthday is, he will be a guy that he will be more like Imani Bates than he was Jalen Duren. Both those guys reclassified. Yeah. Jalen Duren able to go to the draft.
It was rough
Bates
on Imani Bates.
It was rough on Imani Bates.
Opposing gyms were rough.
Sure, it absolutely was. So he'll be kind of that same way where wherever he ends up going to college, he will have to spend 2 years somewhere in college before entering the NBA draft. So,
and you would hope, both of those years, if he starts here, finish here.
Sure, yeah, and
because only got Bates for one,
right?
And it was
exactly
utter disaster.
Yeah, so it was hope it's different from Bates, but you're seeing a lot of movement, and I would not be surprised if he did choose Memphis, spends a year here, and then goes somewhere else. But definitely a 5-star guy, and his visit this weekend
feels like it's going to happen, doesn't it?
Maybe. I think with what Penny Hardaway does when he gets guys on campus, it seems like the track record's there, and I think you win a lot more than you lose if you bet. Okay, visit. They're going to commit. You've got a pretty good record. So yeah, I think it definitely could happen. But like you said, he's going to be a really young guy when he steps onto the court for the first time, and you've got to battle that. What's he going to do? Is he going to stay here 2 years or not? And this is a guy that. Kind of what you've seen with 5-star players over these last couple of years. He's bounced around a lot in high school. I think at least 3 different high schools. So, this is a guy who knows what will happen once he gets here, if he does end up coming to Memphis.
And our friend Jason Munns on the Tiger basketball beat for the Commercial Appeal, he reported today that he had spoken to his father, and his father really liked the player development aspect of Coach Penny Hardaway. I believe that. I sincerely do.
Sure.
But we also know what else has to accompany the player development.
Sure. And it's the day.
Nobody's doing this for free, nor should they.
No, it's the
and
day
I'm
and age
and I'm
of
glad they're
basketball.
getting every cent they are. But the offer is going to have to at least match or exceed U of L's.
Sure, no, absolutely. And so who knows what those offers are? Who knows what those packages might look like? But for a 5-star prospect, it's going to be a decent chunk of change. And so, Tigers, I'm sure, have that and could offer it up there. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how this visit goes and what ends up happening.
Brian, in the Penny Hardaway years, who do you think would be the example A of player development?
I don't know. Duren, maybe? I don't know.
1 year, he certainly got better. Could you offer up Lester Quinones?
I guess you could.
Certainly consistent. He
certainly is up there.
Well, I don't know how. I do think he got developed, but he was kind of the same dependable guy.
Yeah.
Day one is last day.
Yeah, no.
Precious Achiuwa?
Yeah, but I mean, kind of the same thing of Jalen Duren. I mean, both came in as 5-star players, and you had him for 1 year.
You can't say Kendrick because he was player of the year before you got him.
Exactly. And that's kind of been the knock on player development with Penny Hardaway is most of these guys have been kind of short stint guys.
I think Precious Achiuwa would fit.
Sure.
And on the fly, what they had to do with the whole Wiseman just nightmare, and how that 3 games, and I was so glad I went to see one of them. Then the whole dynamic was changed. The cards got completely redealt.
Absolutely.
And Precious Achua made it work, and Penny Hardaway knew he had to hone in on him to make that year not become a debacle.
No, you're absolutely right. And, I mean, had to completely play a new position, had to play the 5, a position that, quite frankly, Precious did not want to play, and had to get thrown in there and took it and, played well. And so, there were a lot of times where he was definitely not the biggest guy out there, was not the biggest center on the court by any means, but played well and certainly got better and put himself in a really good spot and ended up getting drafted and has a good career in the NBA.
That Penny first team, there were a couple guys that were better that year for Penny Hardaway. Now, when we're talking about player development, we're not talking about just opening night at the end of the year. He gets them that summer.
Sure.
Working with them in workouts, and now I don't know if there's any pretense around it anymore. I don't think it should be. Of it's just full bore, go at it in practice, and that's the way it should be. I think we need to get rid of all these coaching restrictions. I said yesterday about college football. Let the head coach be involved all summer, and no hitting. I'm not talking about bloody alley drills, but some form of legitimate practice, and it sure should be for college basketball. That first year, Jeremiah Martin was different March 1 than he was opening night.
Yeah, I give Jeremiah Martin, though, to Tubby. I've always have. Okay. And I'm not going to change that. I mean, he averaged almost 19 points his junior year, and 10, jumped up from 2.7 points to 10.3 points.
But I thought he got a little better that next year.
He did, but I do think, he was that guy, and Penny kind of, I think Tubby more relied on other guys.
And player development's not always rags to riches.
Sure. No, not at all.
It can be pretty good to real good.
Sure, but I do think part of that was, I think there were some players on the roster that Tubby used a little bit more that Penny Hardaway did not choose to use and did not want to use, and that gave Jeremiah Martin the ball a lot more.
I wish we had dedicated more time. This we can come back to it all summer. We really can, and we can, and other shows can as well. I'm doing it. I'm falling victim to it, and I said I was not going to let it happen. I'm already falling for this team is coming together, and it can make noise next year. I don't know that I want to put a hard and fast, to get to this point. I sure want to get to opening night before we leave. I sure don't want to do it on April 24th. Yeah. But I'm doing it again, and last year we saw it happening. It had happened.
Sure.
And then it collapsed.
Yeah, no, I mean it did. And I was talking. Me and Johnny Radio were kind of talking about this Tigers team and what they've done this year in the transfer portal and what they've done in previous years in the transfer portal. And I looked last year, transfer portal ranking was number 10 in the country, according to 247. And John said, wow, number 10 recruiting class, and got all the way to number 10 in the country in the AP rankings before it all came crumbling down. And that's kind of what it was. Now they're up to number 4. On 247 in their transfer ranking. So yeah, they've brought in some really quality pieces already, and you look around at the transfer portal rankings for these individual players, and these are guys that are in the top 10, top 20, top 40, top 50. So it's going to be some good guys. Now again, I'll say what I said earlier this week when we were talking about all these guys committing. I'm ready for them to go and get some bigs. You've got Dane Danger, but they really got to kind of switch their focus to bigs. And obviously, Jaden Quintons, if you got him on a visit this weekend, if that goes well and he commits, that's going to be a big that you're going to rely on a lot next year. But again, comes back to being 16 years old. I do think will be 16 years old when he steps onto the court the first time. But I like what they're putting together.
I do too.
Certainly got more to do, but it looks good right now.
Yeah, and it helps to put the disappointment of last year behind you. At some point, you got to start forward thinking, looking forward to the future. Can't change the past.
No, can't change the past on it. At some point, you've got to turn that page and kind of look at the blank sheet and figure out what next year's team's going to look like, especially with kind of what these Penny Hardaway rosters have been, where it's a complete reload from year to year.
And this year in November, let's say at the end of November, what last year it was one loss at the end of November?
Yeah.
And that was down at the tournament at Atlantis.
Yeah.
Well, if it's one loss at the end of this year, that means that probably at worst a second-place finish in Maui.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to be able to hold people back from having those big hopes and aspirations. Again, I don't think you should try.
Oh, I mean, if you go to Maui.
You got to sell sunshine.
If you go to Maui and you place top 3 in Maui, I mean, there's no holding back the expectation. You look at that field out there,
yeah.
I mean, it is going to be
UConn.
Full out. This is a year. And, I think they're going to be those expectations if they do that. And they've got to meet them because last year they were meeting them, and then you get to conference play on teams that you should have feasted on, and you couldn't do it. And you kind of fell apart, and you can't have that again this year. And so hopefully Penny Hardaway learned from that from a lot of different ways. Team building,
the chemistry,
locker room, chemistry, and hopefully we see a different version this year.
I just hope. I'm not talking about anything abusive at all. Not even even cursing. I just hope that this team, that Coach Hardaway has it in him to this team when he says, "All right, everybody, clam up. I'm talking."
Right.
I hope that resonates, and I'm scared that I haven't seen that.
Well,
I see too much yow-yowing in the bench area.
Well, that's a really good point that you bring up because I think we see so many guys, whether it's the recruits or it's transfer portal guys, but they come here and what's the first thing they say in their first interview or on their social media post? It's, I came here because I can learn from the Penny Hardaway. At some point,
let him teach you.
You got to listen. And you're right. These past couple of years, it's too much yapping, too much talking from those guys and not enough listening to Penny. So hopefully this year's different. I do like what they've put together, but a big-time visitor this weekend in Jane Quintons. I know we'll probably come back to that this week and certainly next week when his visit is complete. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, save $8 on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades in-store only. We'll even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts, until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPV, LLC.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do it signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 do it signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye!
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, there's been so much talk about the Dallas Cowboys, what they're going to do with Dak, what they're going to do with CD. People have forgotten Micah Parsons still out there, and the Cowboys today exercised Micah Parsons' 5th-year option.
Of course they did.
I mean, what were they going to do? Not? I mean, Micah Parsons has been unbelievable.
How about Jerry Wayne saying he's an option quarterback?
How about that? I mean, okay. But no, definitely huge for Micah Parsons. Has just been so good, so dominant to start the season, and now definitely earned that 5th-year option. Is going to be a massive part that a lot of people are going to look to be the leader of that defense going into the season.
Tiger fans saw that one coming. He was the difference in that Cotton Bowl.
He sure
Unblockable defensive force that day. What I learned, Steelers aren't picking up the option on Justin Fields nor Russell Wilson. They're going to let it play out. They want someone to go earn it, and they will get handsomely rewarded for it, or they'll make the Steelers pay in the other way by walking.
Yeah, no, they absolutely
Steelers are going to pay one way or the other.
Sure are. They absolutely will. What I could have done without, well, there's a couple of things I could have done without, but it might be what
John Goin taking Higo and Fox?
Well, that actually might be. Except I actually love it because
if I lose to Higo and Fox, I quit.
Yeah.
No more golf picks.
Well, that's what I love that because that's going to be one where I'm going to be watching Higo and Fox all weekend long.
7:13 a.m. in the morning.
You know, I might watch their highlights of their first round, but I will be keeping up with Higo and
highlights
Fox.
of Higo and Fox.
Well, you never know, Brett. There's always a chance. But what I really could have done without today, I mentioned it earlier today, but Jordan Walker being optioned to Memphis. Now, it'll be fun. I mean, we'll get to see Jordan Walker here with the Redbirds. Yeah, but it's just been a really, really bad start to the season for him. They say that there's a lot he needs to fix, but that's what we were saying last year when he was here in Memphis. Got to fix that swing. That swing's messed up. Get him here, get that swing fixed, and then sky's the limit. Well, now we're back to that same spot this year. Hopefully he gets it fixed and he's back up there playing, making an impact with St. Louis, but they were able to get the win today with him not in the lineup.
I plan on being at the ballpark over the weekend, but what I could have done with that was last night. It was less than 500 people there. I talked to a security person at the ballpark, and they have to know kind of what's been sold and what they can expect. And said last night they were expecting less than 500, and they got it. There's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of excuses why. Tuesday night, school night. I don't want to hear downtown and crime. I don't. Here's why. The Grizzlies sold out. The Grizzlies sold more tickets this year than they've ever sold. So we'll go downtown to that, but we didn't go to the NCAA tournament. We didn't go to the Tiger games with a lot of ferocity this year.
Sure.
Nobody at soccer, nobody at the Redbirds. They're downtown. The Grizzlies are downtown.
Yep.
We go to it.
Yeah, no, we absolutely do. It's not good.
That's an easy excuse.
It is. It's a really easy excuse. I've been to a couple games this year down there for the Redbirds, and I mean, both those games, very sparse in attendance. So it just hadn't been good. Now, I tell you, a couple teams that are about to come, get your tickets ready. Baltimore's AAA team will be here in a couple of weeks, and that's a team I'm definitely going to make sure I go out and see. Where are you beaming tonight?
Boston for the Celtics and the Heat should be a bludgeoning 14.5-point favorite. Boston's been installed by Vegas. Boston, they're on their way to the finals. Do they need better sparring partners on the way to the finals? Because when they get there and get punched by one of these teams from the West, how will they respond to it if it's been a cakewalk easy on the way to the finals? Looks like first round's going to be easy.
Yeah, it looks like first round's going to be really easy. Beam me down to Arlington, Texas, to Globe Life Field, Mariners and Rangers later tonight. I'm telling you, maybe before this season's over, I've got to get down to Globe Life Field. I mean, I just love it. It's one of my favorite ballparks to watch on television. I got a buddy that lives in Dallas. I've got to text him and say, look, I'm coming down one weekend. I've got to get inside of that ballpark because it looks really good. But it should be a fun game tonight.
Rob Fisher and I are going to Orioles and Rangers the Friday after SEC Media Day, which will be the Friday after they host on Tuesday at the All-Star Game. Looking forward to seeing that. The only of the three Ranger ballparks I've ever been to was the first one, the old American Legion ballpark where the Rangers played their first years in the Metroplex. They had a good place before this one, but this one's even better. Tonight, 15 Major League Baseball games. The 3-win White Sox tonight at Minnesota. 3 wins. Blue Jays at Kansas City. If the AL playoffs started today, Kansas City would be the 6th seed facing Seattle. New Orleans and Oklahoma City will be good tonight. All the NBA playoffs we'll be watching with all the baseball. And bright and early tomorrow morning, Higo and Fox.
Higo and Fox. Make sure you wake
that sounds
up,
like
be there and be square.
A action drama on a Tuesday night in the 70s.
Yeah, Higo and
tonight,
Fox.
Higo and Fox.
Yeah, one of those like buddy cop shows.
Yeah.
Higo and Fox. Yeah, I like that. Maybe we should start it. I think that's a great start. You already had the great idea for the Dr. Pepper commercial. Now we've got our TV show.
I'm the idea guy. Y'all got to take it to fruition. I'm the idea guy.
You are the idea guy, Brett. You are.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if we can do something. But you're right. Should be a good night. A lot of baseball. The 2 NBA games tonight on TNT. If you're into hockey, some good puck tonight on ESPN as well. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200. Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. We can't wait to serve you.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or a 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport